So around a week ago, I uploaded a 2-hour commentary video documenting the life and scandals of Ashley Trevino, the TikTok inmate hopper. Now, if you're fortunate enough to not know who this individual is, pretty much this is Ashley Trevino, a TikToker who between the years of 2024 and 2025 has become notorious for, well, 1,000 different terrible reasons, but the main one being in particular, Ashley's love for dating prisoners. Yes, you heard that correctly. Ashley Trevino has an obsession with dating prisoners, and she's claimed that over the last few years, she has actually dated 25 different prisoners. And in the process of that, she has documented this type of lifestyle on her TikTok page via live streams, and she has gained a following of millions of followers and millions of dollars in the bank account. And the thing is that is absolutely a very brief summary of the events surrounding Ashley Trevino. As I said, there are 1,000 different reasons to why so many people do not like this individual, and honestly, I went through pretty much most of them in my big documentary, and to be honest with you, when I finished that video, I thought to myself, great, I'm never gonna have to cover this individual again, and I can move on with my life and, you know, be at peace. But no. Sadly, there are like a million different other things that we need to go through. Because this is the thing with Ashley Trevino. It's pretty much a never-ending nightmare. Because now there are talks about Chris Hansen getting involved in this situation. The police recently turned up to Ashley's location. Arrests were made. More accusations came out between her and her ex-partner Santos. And also, the CPS are now getting more and more involved due to the growing concerns for the welfare of Ashley's 12 and 15-year-old daughters. And I guess you could say that this is sadly, yes, a part 2 to this docu-series to do with Ashley Trevino, where I want to go through all of those things, but I also want to go through another developing situation involving a San Antonio-related trip, and yeah, there is a lot going on with this TikToker. When I say Ashley Trevino is definitely not the regular run-of-the-mill TikToker, I absolutely mean it. When I usually cover TikTokers, I usually expect it to be a little bit chaotic, a little bit hectic, but with Ashley, she is absolutely setting a new precedent and low for TikTokers, and in the wake of there being a alleged possible TikTok ban coming in the next 3 months, I'm getting gradually more and more concerned that that won't be prevented due to individuals like this. Because TikTokers like Ashley Trevino absolutely do not set a good example for the application of TikTok, and you know what really annoys me about TikTok? I know the ban in general is very frustrating for everyone, but the whole reason behind banning TikTok. Pretty much, the Supreme Court have argued that the main reason they want to ban TikTok is due to TikTok's vast data collection, and pretty much the growing concern is that TikTok will then give the data of 117 million Americans to the Chinese government. I can get the concern, yet at the same time, I think it is a bit hypocritical, because you have to take into the context that the US has a multi-billion-dollar industry surrounding data collection. Right now, you and I could go to a data broker's website and buy anyone's data for just a few bucks. This is a completely legal practice. Big companies with poor securities are getting hacked every single day, and your personal information is being sold on the dark web, so spammers, scammers, and identity thieves can target you, and they face zero repercussions from it. So I guess the frustration I have is that the government are so focused on protecting you when they have these sorts of practices happening in their own country, and they're just happy for it to take place. And with that, that's where I want to introduce today's sponsor, Aura. Because Aura is here to make sure that you are safe whilst doing all of the work for you. They will identify data brokers who are selling my information and submit opt-out requests on my behalf. Give Aura a few weeks and you'll stop seeing your information on these types of sites where you can search yourself, which will of course lead to less spam. Aura will also continuously monitor the dark web and alert me if they find my personal information exposed. And they'll even let me know at a very fast rate if someone is trying to use this information to access my credit or bank accounts. But even in a worst case scenario, Aura is offering up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. So go and keep yourself safe online by using my link at aura.com/iNabber to try 14 days for free. That will be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data has been exposed. But yes, thank you so much to Aura for sponsoring this video, and with that, it is time to finally get into the first chapter in this video. Now, the Santos situation is something that I briefly went over in my previous video towards the ending of it. It was something that I, gave the subtle details on, kind of explained what the baselining understanding of the entire situation is. But in this video, what I want to do is go through this whole thing in further detail, because mainly I believe that this situation really exemplifies why so many people right now are concerned for the well-being of Ashley Trevino's children. Because to be honest with you, I feel like this is the main issue surrounding Ashley Trevino. If this was just your regular run-of-the-mill TikToker being cringy and silly on live streams, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would actually cover this situation. Maybe I would, but seeing that there are two very young children involved in this saga who are constantly in these terrible environments that Ashley puts them in, it does make me want to speak about these things far more, and I think this relationship between her and Santos, as I said, really exemplifies why so many people are concerned for the well-being of Ashley's two kids. So yes, if you are wondering, Santos is a 19-year-old TikToker who 35-year-old mother of two, Ashley Trevino, has been flirting with ever since she discovered that Santos is the crush of Ashley's 15-year-old daughter. Yes, you heard that correctly. That is pretty much how these two individuals seem to meet each other. Ashley's kid said, "Hey mum, I've got a crush on this TikToker," and Ashley, rather than thinking, "Oh wow, that's really sweet, my daughter is growing up," she said, "No, I'm going to get in contact with this TikToker and start a romantic relationship with them." Because that's a perfectly normal thing to do. Especially for a 35-year-old mother of two.
How do you feel that your mom stole your crush?
Santos, how do you feel about being bald?
Why would you ask her that? Why would you ask
Santos,
her
I see
that?
that your hair falling out. I see your hair falling out.
Okay, y'all go over there. But for real, don't talk about gold, okay? Just leave it off of social media.
That's why you got the button.
Please. Please.
Alright, you don't either.
I don't talk about her.
Don't talk to her either.
You are not going to tell me who... You don't pay my phone bill?
I'll pay it then.
I'll talk to whoever I want to talk to.
I'll pay your phone bill and all the kids' phone bills if you...
You can't. No, because first of all, you're telling...
Yes, this was an incredibly weird situation and scenario that naturally led to a lot of criticism for, well, multiple reasons. But the main reason being that a lot of people were concerned about this relationship was due to the fact that there was a 35-year-old woman flirting with a 19-year-old on a TikTok live stream. Now, I wouldn't be the first person to say this. Obviously, this is not a crime. 19 and 35 is not technically a crime in the eyes of the US government, but at the same time, naturally, this does lead to a lot of people saying, what business does a 35-year-old have with a 19-year-old? The law doesn't necessarily, I guess, represent morality, and I think in the general guise of society, when you see a 35-year-old dating a 19-year-old, it does come off as creepy. It does. And I know some people will disagree with that. I'm not coming on here to say that Ashley is a predator for this reason. No, in fact, I will be doing that for other reasons. But for this particular one, I just think this is a very, very creepy and inappropriate relationship that absolutely should not be happening. But not just because of the age gap, but also due to the fact that this is someone that Ashley's daughter has, told Ashley in good conscience that this is her crush, and she decided to develop some form of relationship with this guy. But yes, Santos and Ashley's relationship only further developed from here. They were flirting on TikTok live streams together, and things in general were just getting pretty hot and heavy, such as Ashley revealing her body on a live stream to Santos. Yes, this again is a real thing that happened. Ashley, I guess, has zero shame, and I understand people will say body positivity and stuff like that, but at the same time, there are kids on this app. In particular, Ashley's kids are in these streams. They see what's going on here. And, I do just think that this absolutely is incredibly inappropriate. And I'm kind of surprised that TikTok haven't actually banned Ashley for this sole reason. But no, it only continued. And yeah, Ashley and Santos were seemingly in a full-time committed relationship. They'd even been having some intimate phone calls.
I'm trying to add Ash right now. But yeah, me and Ash, we had an intimate phone call last night. Apparently, bro, I didn't know she was on live while I was taking a shower. I didn't care. I was like, set my phone up and I just took a shower.
Now, as somebody that covers a lot of content creators and has covered a lot of situations in the past, I can say that I am very familiar with this type of behavior. The 30-year-old contacts the 19-year-old and says, let's get on a live call, a phone call, and let's get intimate. I mean, again, it's not illegal, but you've kind of got to think to yourself, what business do you have as a 35-year-old with a 19-year-old? The maturity gap is wild. I remember being at uni, and when you're like in your third year, you see third years going for first years, and it is considered creepy. Now, maybe it's just like a European British thing of like looking at American age gap relationships and thinking that's very weird, but I'm gonna stick to my beliefs of if I ever saw a 35-year-old outside of TikTok dating a 19-year-old, I'd be like, you're very weird. But yes, this weirdness is sadly real, and it is right here. And as he said, they had an intimate phone call. And I know what you're thinking, well, at least this intimate phone call was in private. It's intimate, you know, it's between two individuals and they're keeping that business in private. No. No. They actually live streamed this intimate phone call. Not very intimate, but they did it, and you can just see it if you want.
Let me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry for showing you this, but we're kind of going through this in more detail than we did in the previous video. So to do that, I kind of need to show you more things to fill in the gaps. And this is sadly one of them. This went viral. A lot of people were speaking about this because, yeah, it is very, very weird to see that. I mean, anyone, regardless of age gaps, it's just weird to see them have intimate calls like this on a live stream. And again, you've kind of got to wonder, does this not break some form of TOS? I've been banned on TikTok for such, you know, less worse things, but Ashley Trevino is allowed to flash on live streams and do whatever that intimate call was. It's very confusing, the rules and parameters that TikTok set. You know, maybe we do need that ban. Maybe we need to prevent this stuff because honestly, I don't need to see it. But sadly, I'm here to show you all it. But the main question I always think is, why? Why are you doing this? Who is the audience that is actually consuming this style of content? Because there is an audience there, but I'm mainly confused to who and why they actually are. But then I also am wondering, do you not have any shame? Like, is there not like a certain content style that you just kind of think maybe that's not for TikTok Live? Because do you not have family that would see the— oh, no, wait, no, she actually doesn't. And we'll get into that later. But seriously, Ashley, do you not think to yourself, I've got family or friends that may see this style of content and, you know, it may make them uncomfortable? And the main people that I'm referencing here is Ashley's daughters. Because if you didn't know, Ashley's daughters are actually moderators in Ashley's live streams. And this was something that I missed in my last video. And it's honestly even more concerning, because if they're moderators, that implies that they're going to be in every single live stream to, you know, pretty much maintain the structure of these streams. There are clips out there of Ashley's kids coming into the room and pulling Ashley off live because they're concerned about what Ashley is saying, and then take into context that these are 12 and 15-year-old kids, and you have to think, they shouldn't be seeing this. They shouldn't be witnessing this. They shouldn't be moderating this, but Ashley is allowing them to, which naturally has led to more and more people being concerned for the well-being of these children. Because these kids will say to you, oh no, I think this is great, you know, mum's getting rich off this sort of thing. And, you know, you would think that as a 15 or 12-year-old, you know, you would think, oh, this is great, fame, fortune, and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, that isn't a reason to, you know, ignore all of the weird behavior that we have seen from Ashley in this video, and my previous video, and the behavior that we're going to get into. And it just makes me more and more concerned. And as I said, the relationship with Santos only makes me even more worried for these kids, just because of some of the things that they're being exposed to on a regular basis in these live streams that they are moderating. And it is very, very clear to me that the dynamic Ashley has with her children is just a very inappropriate dynamic, in my opinion.
I love you too.
Baby, tell me why last night after me and you hung up, because you know how we play, right? Like, you're like my little best friend. You're like my little sister.
Now, I don't know if I'm just being an angry or bitter man right now, but I personally just don't really necessarily agree with this. I don't think that you should be addressing your 12 or 15-year-old daughter as a little sister. Now, maybe this is a dynamic that you develop as you're older, your daughter becomes an adult and you are also older, you're not living together anymore, and you can, establish that new type of friendship with your children and mother. But when they're 12 or 15 years old, you should not be a older sister and your daughter should not be your younger sister. You need to be the mother to that child. They need a parent in their life to establish how they should live their life correctly, establish the general rules of life to them, make sure they're not doing anything bad, make sure that they're not involved in anything terrible, and just in general, make sure that you're being a parent to your kids. But what this indicates to me is that Ashley doesn't want to be a parent. She just wants a couple of friends who are just going to agree with her no matter what, because in this case it's her kids and they look up to her, and basically do absolutely no parenting other than use the kids as TikTok content and use them for moderators in your live streams. I don't think that this is necessarily a good environment for a child to be in, and then especially when you consider the fact that Ashley just keeps putting these kids in terrible environments in general. For example, in the last video we went through over the fact that Ashley on multiple occasions has actually introduced her kids in prisons to the criminals that Ashley was dating, and bearing in mind some of these criminals had convictions of, actual murder charges against them. But also the other situations, such as Ashley abandoning her kids on Thanksgiving to go out and get in fights, leaving her kids with people she barely even knows who are also fighting, and then when she gets back after the fights that she's had on live stream, she can't even find her kids. Yes, these are real things that we spoke about in the previous video, so I'm not really shocked that Ashley day by day just represents herself as an even worse parent than we previously thought her to be, mainly due to the fact that there are so many situations that just reflect that, such as, the occasions of where Ashley has defended actual criminals for taking the lives of other individuals.
He literally unalived his wife.
Well, it's not my fault. Act like it's my fault. Maybe if he was happy, he would know.
Yes, I'm really not shocked that this individual turned out to be a bad parent, but if there is one thing that I'm shocked about, it is the fact that there seemingly has not really been many repercussions for Ashley, despite everything that we've gone through in the last two videos and what we're going to get into. And we will go into that, but I kind of want to get back on track to the relationship between Santos and Ashley. And with that, we need to then move into, the developing relationship that they had at this point of the timeline. They were getting, very spicy on call, and they'd even claimed to have seen each other's noo-noo.
I've already seen his beepee, and he's already seen my noo-noo.
Now, you can only imagine what a noo-noo is, and this is something that Ashley has actually become pretty much world-renowned for, her noo-noo. But I've just got to interject here from the whole editing suite. As you can see, yes, this is a little bit unprofessional. I know it kind of breaks the whole chronological timeline, but I felt it was appropriate to just jump in here and state that this whole noo-noo thing, which is a sentence that I never thought I'd say, but this whole noo-noo thing has absolutely gone too far. The noo-noo situation, it's gone too far, because pretty much she has taken this noo-noo meme, because that's what it became after she said this, and basically turned it into a music career. I'm not even kidding. As you can see, Ashley has made a song. She literally got into a recording studio and recorded whatever this is.
I got noo-noo.
There was a point of time where I thought it was cool to be like an influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it. But the reality is, in 2025, this is what being an influencer is. It's not about making like amazing content or anything. It's about Ashley recording her new song, Noo-Noo.
Yes, and we could just repeat them, right? Actually, I kind of like it right there. Put Santos's I got Noo-Noo after his verse, and then put hers after.
It is physically painful, but the fact is they actually did make this into a real song, and it's actually weirdly catchy. I think that's the worst part about the Noo-Noo song. Now, I'm not going to play the full released version of it because I don't want to get copyright claimed, but this is Ashley doing her rendition of it on a live stream, and I'm just gonna allow you guys to take it in and, you know, inhale the music.
Somebody send a lion. Somebody send a lion.
I like she's saying it like everybody knows this song. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like only chronically online people know the whole lyrics to this. I don't even know it, and I would consider myself chronically online. But sorry, let's continue.
You want to know how it smells?
No, I don't want to know. I don't. That's the problem. I don't want to know, and I don't know why this is a song.
As Santos, he knows.
I'm also not going to ask Santos.
Smell well. I got new.
I feel like we're in that really bad 2017 era of Team 10 again, you know, where there were songs made every single week. This is like a worrying sign that we're going to go back to that. We cannot afford to go back to that era.
I got new. 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 I seen
Truly riveting lyrics. Do you feel like when Mozart was around and making his music, he thought that, you know, the musical scene and genre would just turn into this?
Beefy. He seen the new.
Yeah, I don't want to play anymore. I'm sorry, I can't do it. But I think on like a more serious note, it is like slightly worrying that Ashley's daughters genuinely know about this song. And I understand it's probably a bit unavoidable given that it was the song that their mother made, but they know the lyrics and everything. Like they're singing a normal song on there and then it suddenly develops into this. Yeah, even she realizes, yeah, maybe my kids shouldn't know this song. But yeah, I just thought I'd jump in here and interject into the fact that, yes, this has all become a song. And I don't understand why, but apparently this is actually going viral on TikTok. And I just guess this is kind of like an example of where content creation is really going in the TikTok scene in 2025. And yeah, take that at what you will. And sorry, let's actually get back into the main part of the video. This is something that Ashley has actually become pretty much world-renowned for, her new. And, you know, say what you want about that, I don't really care. The main thing that I care about is the fact that her daughters were in these live streams witnessing this type of content. And again, I'm going to sound like an angry, bitter, old-fashioned man, but I just don't think that kids should be in the presence of this type of content, especially 12-year-old kids. And it's clear that even these kids agree with me, because shortly after she spoke about the new stuff, the kid actually comes into the room and tells Ashley to get off live stream.
You need to get off later. You're saying stuff that people don't need to know.
Okay, well.
You need to get off soon, okay?
I mean, honestly, I just feel bad for this child. I believe this is the same child that told Ashley that she has a crush on Santos, and then to see that your mother is then doing these things on live stream and describing the things that she is, it's honestly just pretty sickening. And yes, at this point of time, Ashley and Santos hadn't actually met, but trust me, that is going to come. Because yes, as their relationship developed, it led to multiple preparation TikToks, the anticipation was high, and just in general, people were expecting an explosive meeting when Ashley and Santos finally met. Because trust me, I haven't shown all of the TikToks between Ashley and Santos, but there's so many of them, and it did kind of genuinely come off like Ashley actually really liked Santos. Now, with Santos, it does just kind of give me the vibe that, you know, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows that this is going to get him attention. And I mean, I'm not really going to berate him for that. It's kind of funny at the end of the day. But with Ashley, it is a bit more sad. This, again, I'm not trying to be ageist or something here, but when you're 35 years old with 2 children, surely for the love of God, you've got to be doing something better than this.
Oh. Hey. How are you? I'm dead. Here, you grab hers. I'm like, you grab hers. Hi, nice to meet you.
Night? Is this prom night?
Not prom night.
This is prom night. The prom date coming to pick her up.
I'm not gonna lie, when you see that without any form of context, you could easily like be misconstrued with that being like a kid, you know, meeting their mum or stepmom after coming back from university for like a year or something like that. Like this is not this is not what it was, you know, lived up to be or described that it was going to be. We thought this was going to be spicy, man. These guys were on live streams having intimate phone calls with each other, and the result is this. And I said in my previous video that this is a great summary to online relationships. You know, yeah, you're on Discord or whatever, WhatsApp, and whatever the kids use nowadays, and describing what you're gonna do, and the result is whatever this is. And I know I went through this bit in my previous video, but it is kind of just hilarious to see that this is the reality of everything that they built up to over the last few months. But yeah, seemingly this basically developed into an actual relationship. It's just weird, isn't it? It's like they went out on a romantic evening together, and well, yes, it's beautiful, right? Yeah, totally. This is real love. Santos, you know, even took Ashley to a suite, but Ashley claims that she doesn't want to go to jail. Now, I don't really know what Ashley is specifically referring to here. I imagine it's a joke in jest of the criticism surrounding her and the age gap, but it also could just be an acknowledgement from Ashley that, yeah, maybe 19-year-olds dating 35-year-olds is not exactly the best way to go about relationships. But yeah, their relationship, it was... I can't even say it was special. It was just... It was certainly a relationship. But then, as all relationships do, disaster struck. Because yes, as I mentioned in the previous video, the police actually turned up to Ashley's place because a lot of people claimed to the police after calling them that Ashley was providing Santos with alcohol. Because yes, a 19-year-old legally cannot drink in the United States of America, and this would be a felony. And of course, the police turned up and investigated Santos, they took his identification, and it led to pretty much a very unfortunate situation of where Santos's business could have actually been taken away from him due to the fact that Santos was supposedly lying about his age, allegedly, and there was a lot of worry that just in general he would get arrested because of Ashley's actions. And sadly, from that moment on, the relationship just started to decline and decline and decline. The love was no longer in the air, there were no more intimate phone calls, and in fact, things only started to get even worse when Ashley seemingly went onto a live stream and described the actions of Santos, which, from what the audience understood, she was basically stating that Santos SA'd her. But then, weirdly enough, Santos also went on a live stream and said that Ashley allegedly SA'd him, and then they got onto a live stream and started to discuss these accusations like it was a regular run-of-the-mill drama of the week, and it's like, no, guys, these are real criminal allegations that you're making against each other, but they didn't handle it like that. They were just, well, I'll just show you the clip.
Okay, but you said I SA'd you?
You said that about me.
No, you said I SA'd you.
You said that about me.
Did I SA you?
Answer this. You said that about me, yes or no? You said that about me on your live. That's all you said.
Hold on, my daughter's in here.
The whole thing is just incredibly confusing and weird, and to deal with a very serious situation by going on to a TikTok live stream where your audience can witness the whole thing, donate to you and everything like that, to me, it's just a gross mishandling of these types of allegations. Now, I personally believe that the whole thing is just, once again, Ashley Trevino just making up things for content purposes to get the audience to remain around because, you know, if there isn't some big drama, then people will just leave because at the end of the day, we as an audience are not necessarily here for anything other than drama when it comes to Ashley Trevino. Let's not pretend here. The audience that go to her live streams aren't here for, I don't know, Ashley's amazing personality. They're here for, what has Ashley done this week? Why is she in drama? Why is she in controversy? And I guess this was this week's story that Ashley decided to conjure up, and I think that is absolutely, well, gross. I don't think that you should be making these types of things up for content purposes because to me personally, it only just makes a mockery of very, very real allegations about these types of topics that are ongoing in the world right now. But what makes it even more disturbing is the kids of Ashley are in the background. You can hear them and they're witnessing all of this, which to me, again, is just even more concerning that this type of behavior is being normalized. The thing of where everything is content, no matter how serious it is, no matter if it's a serious allegation that could lead to criminal proceedings, make it all for content purposes. Because at the end of the day, it's all about making more money. Ashley only cares about money, and that's reflected in the fact that about 5 minutes later, her kids are on live stream screaming at Santos.
Why? I didn't even know you until my mom. Yeah, we didn't know you, Haley. Oh wait, okay.
That's Cat. You told your mom something else.
Okay, shush. You're irrelevant though. You're irrelevant.
You say you.
Shush, bro. Shut up. Bro. That ain't even funny, bro. Mom.
Now, I know I'm repeating myself and saying that this is just weird, but at the end of the day, that's the perfect way to summarize it. This is weird. I don't understand why the kids need to be there. I don't understand the need to make this a form of content, and it's very clear that these two individuals are not taking anything that they've said seriously, and even the comments have pointed out, wasn't it like 5 minutes ago they were accusing each other of very serious things? And what's bizarre to me is that TikTok just, they think that this is fine. This is great content, and as long as it's bringing in money for them, they don't necessarily care. TikTok live streams are this very weird place of where you can seemingly do absolutely anything you want as long as it makes money. I genuinely have seen some of the most insane things I've ever witnessed on the internet on TikTok Live. And Ashley Trevino is just another example of that. It doesn't matter what it is, if it makes some money, she will do it on TikTok Live. But pushing all of the serious things aside for a second and going back to the general basics of Ashley and Santos' relationship, yes, pretty much from this moment on, they were no longer in a relationship and no longer being intimate with each other. And in fact, Ashley actually went on to defend herself, claiming that she actually didn't know the age of Santos, and apparently Santos lied about his age to Ashley, which is incredibly confusing because if you go to any clip about Santos and Ashley before this claim, it states that Santos is 19 years old. The audience knew this and was speaking about this. It was something very much spoken about. Yet I'm supposed to believe that Ashley Trevino herself somehow didn't know about this age thing, despite, well, everyone else knowing about it. To me, it just seems a little bit convenient and a little bit fishy. But also, what is actually going on in this screen? Are they eating steak in a club? I mean, just look at this. I'm so confused. They are eating steak in a club. Is that not distracting? Is that like a little bit annoying? You try to put your peppercorn sauce over it, and the waiters come over and said, "Is everything okay?" And it's like, mate, I can't understand what you're saying. The music is blaring and there are lights in my eye. Like, what is the appealing thing to this? But I guess this is where, I don't know, 19-year-olds take you. We've all been on a bad date in our youth, and this is another example of, why you don't date 19-year-olds at 35 years old. But with more and more people speaking about Ashley and Santos' relationship, naturally more criticism was being diverted towards Ashley's way, and Ashley tried to kind of deflect away from a lot of this criticism, especially with a lot of people saying that, in particular, Ashley's kids should be taken away from her. She came onto live stream and defended herself by saying that she does everything for her children, and actually, Santos is the reason that she apparently almost lost her kids. Which makes no sense.
I didn't make you lose nothing. If anything, you almost made me lose them girls. And I'm fighting to keep them girls. Them girls will come before everybody and anything.
Now, Ashley, it's very interesting that you say that because honestly, I have seen no evidence to suggest this whatsoever. You are the same mother who heard that your daughter had a crush on someone, and you quite literally put yourself ahead of your daughter by then going on to date that individual. But also, you're the same mother who has actually claimed on your own TikTok page that you have pretty much put your kids on the back burner so you can go out partying.
Go back to saying that I started my partying life late. A lot of y'all probably think, oh no, you've been partying since you were a teenager. No, I was a mom and a wife. I started my partying life literally 5 years ago.
Ashley, if you've been partying for 5 years, it's probably time to wrap it up, I was at university and I went through an era where I was going out 4 to 5 nights a week in my first year, and it was great, But you get to a point of where you're like, it's getting a bit old now. And I was 19 when I made that realization. I was like, this clubbing thing is fun at first, but, you know, it kind of becomes a bit repetitive. And I didn't have kids, you know. I was up minus 2,000 in the overdraft, you know. I didn't have kids or responsibilities other than turning up to my 9 a.m. lecture half asleep, you know. That was my only responsibility. Now, you are a 35-year-old mother with 2 young children. I don't think that you should be out partying for 5 years straight.
I just started going out partying and doing all this stuff.
What do you mean you just started going out? You just said that you've been doing it for 5 years. I mean, again, is this some form of like British American cultural difference here? Maybe Americans like party for 10 years straight. But again, I went out for like a year and I was like, all right, it's good. But, you know, I've got like tax to pay now. And, you know, it's just kind of boring. To do it for 5 years and to basically be like, I'm just getting started, baby. It's like, you put your kids first, apparently.
It was worse than what it is now. I don't do it like I used to.
I love that she's just like, guys, you think I was bad, you know, bad now? 3 years ago. Should have sent me then. CPS, you should have sent me then. It's like, Ashley, I don't think you should be saying these things. I don't think that you should be admitting to these things on a live stream. And this is the thing with Ashley, as you're going to discover as we go further and further down this rabbit hole. She just admits to things where you're like, that's really bad. And if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't say that thing. It's like going up to a tax man and being like, yeah, I didn't pay tax for like 10 years straight, being the average YouTuber, you know? And you're like, great. Why would you self-report like that?
When I first started going out, you guys, I was out every weekend. Every weekend, my parents had my kids. And this is why I say they helped me raise my kids.
This is the same person who made the defense of, I put my kids before anyone. It's like, well, you've, like, in video form, I have it right here, you saying the complete opposite of that. What am I supposed to believe? I have seen so much evidence to suggest that you only go out and party and only put your kids on the back burner. To me, you're just a terrible parent, and I'm very surprised that CPS haven't stepped in and said, we can't keep doing this. And look, I understand that people are very wary about CPS and they get a lot of criticism, and rightly so. Even in other countries, Child Protective Services aren't really great. I've had to deal with them in my life, and you know, it's very stressful, and I think in a lot of cases they do a lot of wrong. But in this particular case, you really struggle to argue against it when the mother herself is just consistently self-reporting at every opportunity.
I was blessed to have parents that literally were like, go, the girls are safe. They're here with us.
You having responsible parents yourself does not mean that you should place the burden of your 2 young children on them consistently so you can go out drinking and partying. To me, that indicates you are an incredibly selfish person. You are putting all of your stresses on other people just so you can go out and have a little bit of fun. To me, that just once again implements and reflects that this person is not fit to be a parent. And also, bear in mind, she is responding to criticism here of where people are saying you go out partying too much. She is still partying to this day, and as far as I know, she still on the occasion leaves her kids with her parents. In fact, I've seen some claims that she leaves her kids with her parents nearly every weekend. Is that exactly an environment a child should be growing up in? Because personally, I don't think it is. In every single opportunity Ashley has had, she, in my opinion, has put herself ahead of her children. Regardless of if it's going out partying or whether it's to do with her relationship with Santos, it is always about Ashley Trevino, and in my opinion, parenting is all about sacrifice. You hear so many stories from some legitimately great parents that they have had to sacrifice some of their hobbies and things that they enjoy doing so they can give their kids good upbringings. And I think that that is actually a thing most or all parents should be doing. You have brought a child into this world, and it is now your responsibility to make sure that they have a good upbringing. But now, going back finally to Ashley's relationship with Santos, yes, it seems that it pretty much is completely over with, as Santos has now made the claims that he has another girlfriend called Adrielle. And it's hilarious because Ashley clearly is not very happy about this. Like, as much as some of the things that went on between them were absolutely fake for content, I have no doubts in my mind that Ashley actually does have a crush on this individual, and she is absolutely seething.
Oh, where's your girlfriend at? I seen you have a new one.
Where's your boyfriend at? I heard that you...
In the front seat.
He has more motion.
Of course, because you're going to pay her back. Remember, she said you deserved that because you bought dinner that night. I said...
Hey, you were trying to do the same thing. What are you talking about?
You're lying. As many times as I've seen you with all them different girls.
This is the sort of behavior you would expect a 19-year-old influencer to engage in. And that's funny because, well, we actually have one of those right here. This is a 19-year-old influencer who is engaging in that activity. But it's not something you would expect from a, again, 35-year-old mother of two. And again, not necessarily trying to shame someone for their age. I think you can have fun at 35 years old. I'm not that far off it for myself. I'm not in my 30s yet. But, you know, give it a bit, I'll be there, and I still will, you know, say to myself, I can have fun. But if I have kids at that point, don't expect me to be jumping on live streams of random 19-year-olds being like, oh, how's your girlfriend? Whilst being clearly bitter and seething about it to my thousands and thousands of viewers. If I am doing that at 35, I will be embarrassed. But yes, to conclude the relationship between Santos and Ashley, it seemingly started off, you know, I'm trying to make it sound romantic. It started off being a complete mess, and it ended a complete and utter mess. And Ashley is, well, seemingly devastated about the ending. And, well, Santos himself doesn't actually care. Like, whatsoever. But even then, with the ending of their relationship, things didn't end in terms of developing situations, because Ashley also then got onto another live stream to speak about Santos and once again accuse him of very serious things.
Santos is asking victims to speak out when he has the same freaking charges. How are you going to try and bring one creator down when you got the same charges?
Now, what's being discussed here is attached to a lot of other situations that I really do not care to get into. All you need to know is, once again, this is another drama of the week. What can Ashley say and do to get involved in some situation that other people are also involved in, where there's some big old center point of drama? They use that as an excuse to go on TikTok Live and overall just get paid by the weirdos that donate to these people on live streams. And yes, I mean that. You are very, very weird if you donate to Ashley Trevino. Please stop doing that. And God, can I please stop talking about this relationship now? I don't want to speak about this relationship anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And thankfully, I don't have to, because yes, this seemingly is the ending of this saga, and I just wanted to go through their relationship because, as I said, it reflects a lot of negative issues to do with Ashley and shows us a massive example of her putting herself ahead of her children at absolutely every single possible example. And with that, it does lead us nicely into the next chapter to do with Ashley and her family troubles. So Ashley and her family issues. This is a big topic of conversation surrounding Ashley Trevino because mainly people are wondering, where are the family? Why are they allowing the things that are taking place to take place when these two children are around? Well, with that, we need to have a conversation about CPS, Child Protective Services. Now, CPS is something that has been mentioned quite a lot in this video so far. It's been mentioned quite a lot in my previous video, and the main reason for that being is that due to all of the events that we have gone through, a lot of people out there that have just witnessed this sort of activity on her TikTok lives have decided to call the police because they were concerned for the well-being of these two children of Ashley. Some have even gone on to claim that Ashley's kids have already been taken away from her, and some have claimed that there are cases currently ongoing against Ashley. Well, I actually have an answer to what is actually going on involving the CPS and Ashley, and this actually comes from Ashley's own mouth, where she went on to claim that there are currently 20 ongoing cases against her.
A lot of y'all spread rumors and say that CPS took my kids from me. Baby, CPS has never taken my kids. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases.
Yes, I've had 20 cases against me, but that doesn't mean CPS are coming after me. I really do respect the method she's taken here into debunking debunking the claims that CPS are getting involved, rather than just being like, no, that's not happening. And, you know, you could lie. She's lied a lot already so far, so she could lie in this case. Rather than doing that, she was like, no, there are 20 claims against me, and this is how I'm going to debunk it. It is truly an incredible method that she's gone with here. And to be fair, I'm not exactly shocked that there are 20 cases against Ashley, considering that she has openly admitted to neglecting her kids so she can go out and party for 5 years straight. Now, some people will say, well, not everything on her live streams can really constitute CPS getting involved, and yes, I do understand that, but there are some issues that a lot of people have, you know, pointed out that I think CPS would be alarmed about, in particular the issue that apparently Ashley's kids have only got air mattresses to sleep on. They don't have an actual real mattress and bed frame. And yeah, we're kind of getting into the whole resilient Jenkins territory here. And obviously, this has sparked up a lot of conversation. This was something that I left out of my last video. It's mainly because I missed it, to be honest with you. But yes, as you can see here in the kids' bedroom, there is an air mattress that they sleep on. But don't worry, guys. Ashley has claimed in the midst of all the criticism surrounding this that she actually is going to make up for this. Instead, she's going to actually buy her kids finally a bed for Christmas. Why not just do it now? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because there are brainworms in a certain individual's brains, but here's her reasoning.
For sure, but now that I know that they fixed up their room, you see the LED lights? They fixed up their room. They brought their cajons back from my mom's house because they had their vanity stuff over there. They brought everything back, so now I'm gonna buy them a bed for Christmas.
Now you fixed up your room, you can have basic human rights. Now look, I understand that not everyone can afford a bed and not everyone can be in that privileged position. But if you are in that privileged position and you are a parent and you are earning thousands of dollars every single live stream, then I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that you should buy your children a bed now. Not waiting till Christmas, not waiting till they've tidied up their bedroom. Buy them a bed now. How can you honestly expect your kids to treat that room like a bedroom when it doesn't even have a bed in it? She was saying, oh, they've fixed things up, they've, you know, brought things back. It's like, well, what do you expect? They're not going to treat the bedroom correctly if there's no bed in it. Can it even be considered a bedroom if there isn't a bed in it? But yes, obviously this is a very uncomfortable situation. Ashley's kids, despite having a mother who begs for money on every single live stream and gets money on every single live stream, she was for a long time seemingly refusing to just provide them with a bed.
But I'm gonna get it before Christmas. But I don't know if I should get them bunk beds because they're older, or if I should get them one bed to share.
You, Ashley Trevino, are rich. We have seen your donations in every single live stream. You don't really not make it that obvious. You're constantly going like, pointing at the screen, get everyone to donate the money, and you have that money in your bank account. Both your kids should have separate rooms, honestly. We have seen how much money this woman invests into her party lifestyle. She is openly braggadocious about the fact that she's been partying every single weekend for 5 years straight. You can afford to sacrifice a few of those weekends just so you can buy a bed. Because let's be real here, people. Ashley Trevino, based on all the live streams, is spending probably thousands of dollars every single weekend on alcohol, Ubers, deliveries, all that sorts of stuff. And if she just sacrificed that, she could easily afford to get her kid not only a bed, but both of them their own separate bedrooms. But as we've seen, this is an incredibly selfish woman that only puts herself first. So yeah, I'm not really shocked that there are apparently 20 CPS cases against her. And Ashley cannot go on to lie about the fact that she doesn't have much money. This is the woman that went to Disneyland without her own children. To me, in every single possible angle, Ashley does everything she can to neglect and put her kids aside so she can prioritize herself. And if you want even more evidence to show that Ashley can absolutely afford to probably buy a mansion for both her children, just look at this clip here of Ashley bragging about how much she earns and spends.
Girl, I kid you not. I've already bought 2 Louis purses over $6,000 within a month, a couple weeks. Sunglasses from Louis. Plus I got my apartment. I got everything. And I can tell you, it's good money. You just got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it no matter what anybody says.
It's good money, but she's considering getting both her children a singular bed to share. To me, it does just show that this woman once again is proving herself to be the worst parent on planet Earth, but let's just continue to actually brag even further.
And by next month, you'll be like, hold up, my bank account looks good, baby.
I know. I was like, one of the T pages was like, man, did y'all know that Ashley made $20K in August? I said, shit, let me run it up. I'm trying to make 20,000. I'm trying to get like Ashley.
She made $20,000 in August. I mean, honestly, it just kind of makes you feel slightly ill that people are giving her this amount of money. At least you can say with the money that YouTubers earn, it comes through Google AdSense and multi-billion-dollar corporations giving YouTube ad revenue. This is just people out there giving her $20K plus a month. And bearing in mind, this was in August when Ashley wasn't even that popular. She's probably now earning upwards of around $50K a month at this point.
It's actually been more than that. But like I said, I went to Florida. I've been just spending because I'm still good on my rent and my bills.
She's good on her rent and her bills, but she cannot afford to buy her kids a separate bed or even just get them separate bedrooms. It does not make much sense.
But living like paycheck to paycheck was really getting to me. And then when he passed away, I was like, how am I going to be able to support my babies? Because I still support them. They might not be here because my address was leaked. I don't feel safe with them being here.
She says that, which is hilarious, because the reason her address was leaked was obviously because she shows where she lives on pretty much every single live stream. I mean, this wasn't even what I was meant to be speaking about here, but the amount of examples this woman gives in the space of a minute of just being a bad parent, it's absolutely hilarious. But also, before we move on and go back to the whole bed conversation, I want to actually show you the method of making this $20K a month. And honestly, when you see it, you kind of wonder to yourself, is it really worth it?
20, 420.
Money gun, guys. A money gun. A money gun.
Hearts. 2 more hand hearts, you guys. Capacity challenge. Track, what's going on, dude? You have 831.
A money gun.
You guys.
Shut the fuck up, Jasmine. You're no longer in the lead. Ash, pipe down. Track, pipe down. Everybody better play right now. Whoop on these little fucking tricks. Whoop these tricks. Rachel, let's go. Shut your mouth, Jasmine. Everybody play. Carolina, let's go. Everybody play right now. Everybody play. They're going to play. Everybody play right now.
It's genuinely like one of the most dystopian Black Mirror things I think I've ever seen. Just people sat there begging, donate, donate, donate. And it's like, wow, this is what content creation is in 2024 and 25. This is really, really sad. And this is basically the majority of these types of influencers' live streams. But yeah, according to Ashley, she can't afford to buy a bed. Now, we know that eventually she did seemingly buy her kids a bed, but that really only comes from the fact that she was facing a lot of scrutiny and pressure from the public. But what makes this even more hilarious is that in other TikToks that people have uncovered, Ashley on live streams went into her daughter's so-called bedroom to be mad at them because all they did was take a singular pillow.
I am missing a pillow, and I don't know where it's at. Pick up those blankets. It was one of y'all. Don't take my pillows out my room, please. I'm telling you, I have like thousands of pillows, you guys. Like thousands of pillows. And this is just how I love my little area.
So she has thousands of pillows, but she is unwilling to just sacrifice one of those pillows that are probably being thrown on the floor when she goes to bed because I don't know. What is the reason for this? Is there any explanation to not just wanting to give your daughter one pillow? To me, when you add it on top of everything that we know, it just shows once again that this person isn't just neglectful, but it almost feels like they're intentionally being neglectful. And that's only further proven in a clip that we briefly went over in the last video, where Ashley openly admits and brags about the fact that she was and it still is in my opinion, but was at least a terrible parent when her child was a bit younger.
I was young when I raised her. My mom was her mom.
Just want to quickly interject here before she says anything and just say there is no excuse of age when it comes to what she's about to describe. Yes, I understand that things may be a bit more difficult for younger parents. You know, they've not got as much life experience and financial status, I guess, as a older person may do so. You know, someone in their teen years, if they're like 18 and pregnant, that's going to be a bigger struggle than when they're 28 and pregnant, you know, just for the very obvious glaring factors. But with what Ashley is about to get into, that's nothing to do with age. It's all to do with the fact that she is a neglectful, terrible parent, and I can understand why CPS are keeping their eyes on her.
I used to like I don't even want to say this on live because of how I used to treat her. But like when she would make me mad, like she would take off running and I would just like her by the hair and like her. And she would be like, "Mom, what are you doing?" But she was like little. And I didn't know that that was like not the way to treat your daughter, you know?
I love that in this clip, she literally says that her daughter said, "Mom, what are you doing?" Which indicates obviously the kid had a problem with it. And she says, "Oh, I was so young, I just didn't know that it was a problem." It's like, what do you mean? Growing up, you know that pulling someone's hair is obviously going to be a bad thing. Regardless of their family, your children, or just a random person on the streets, you cannot do that. In particular, with your children. And this excuse to me is just absolutely pathetic, but it only continues.
My poor baby. She used to, like, I used to do that with her because I used to be so mad at her, like, what are you doing, you know? And so I would, like, by the hair.
You were young too, no?
I was a young mom raising her.
I don't care. I don't care. Why is this being brought up like it's an excuse? The whole young thing is to do with, oh, haha, I spent, you know, too much money on this video game console when I was young, when I should have, you know, spent it on bills or something like that. That's something that you do when you're a bit younger, you know? You're a little bit irresponsible with your finances. Oh, I was a to a friend or something like that. I shouldn't have done that. But this, what she's describing here is none of those things. This is just being a neglectful, terrible parent. But somehow her spiel of letting us know how terrible she is just continues. And this is something that I don't get that Ashley Trevino loves to do. Yes, I did just drop my phone on the floor. But this is something that Ashley loves to do. Just openly admit to the world how awful she is. And I don't know if this is for content purposes because she's content farming, but at the end of the day, what she is content farming is going to inevitably end in her children being taken away from her.
And she still loves me till this day. And so now whenever I think about it, I'm like, bro, like, I treated her like crap. And she still loves me and she still makes videos. If you see her videos, they're like, my mom is the best mom, or like,
yeah, she posted one today of you guys in the car together.
Yeah, and then she's like, this is how I see my mom, and this is how y'all see my mom. Like, my baby still sees me as, like, her mom that she, you know, like, and little does she know that I used to literally, like, treat her worse than what I treated Evie.
Now, this is something that, again, I briefly touched on in the previous video, but I think it's important to kind of go through this again to what Ashley is talking about here. Now, she says that her kids say that she's like the best mom. She says how, oh, my kids love me and they say that I'm amazing. But how long will they say that for, you know? When you're a kid, you idolize your parents. You think they're the best, most important, amazing, smartest, cleverest people in the world. And then, you know, you get a bit older, you mature, you develop, and you have your own social consciousness that isn't just given to you by your parents. And, you know, you start to realize there are flaws with your parents. There are genuine issues that you didn't realize were issues when you were a child, because when you're a child, the world is just rainbows and colors in a lot of people's scenarios. Even if you're in a terrible scenario, you, in a lot of cases, don't realize it's terrible until you're older. And I think we've all experienced that to some degree of when you get older, you realize, that thing that happened before wasn't exactly, well, right. And I think this could happen absolutely here. Ashley's kids will probably get a little bit older. They'll look back on some of the clips that are on her TikTok live stream archives, and they'll realize to themselves, oh, this was not appropriate. This was very, very wrong. And as they slowly get further and further away from the mother's clutches, they will realize how truly terrible Ashley Trevino is. I don't care if it's in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. I guarantee this will, to some extent, inevitably happen. The only reason that your kids are saying how great you are and that they love you is because right now you're rich, you're famous, and to a kid that's definitely cool, but she won't be rich and famous forever. I guarantee you in a year or even 6 months' time, no one will care about Ashley Trevino. She will just be a spot in the YouTube commentary section where, oh, that person's done a 2-hour video on this person. I'm going to watch it whilst I do my art, whilst I do my work or revise for my exams. That's all you really are at this point, Ashley Trevino. And I know that sounds mean, but I hope you realize that so it makes you look at your kids in a better way and actually makes you possibly think, maybe I need to treat them better. Because right now, you're absolutely not. Like, even out of basic family matters, Ashley is still a terrible parent to her kids. For example, when her kids came to her stating that, oh, these people want to collab with me, rather than just being a parent to these children and, organizing this and helping them manage whatever social media careers they're trying to create, she was like, no, actually, I need to just get a manager to do this all for me.
That want to collab with her. Like, she's like, oh, you know who wants to collab with me? Like, this other guy already wanted to collab with her and Evie. Like, at this point, I really need to find her and Evie a manager, and I will pay. Like, weekly, whatever. Daily, I don't care. So I need to get with one of my friends to see where I can find a manager for them, because I don't want them just to be collabing with influencers that they don't know,
Now, I know this isn't the biggest and most serious thing in the lore of Ashley Trevino, but to me personally, I think this says quite a lot. Rather than actually helping her kids out, rather than actually doing the things that they're asking her to do, these very basic organization related things, she's like, nope, I need to pay for a manager to do this for me. When it comes to any form of parenting, it just feels that she just shoves her kids over to her grandparents or even a paid manager. It's absolutely hilarious, because you've got to consider into the fact that Ashley many times now has said that she does everything for her kids, but in literally every opportunity she does the exact opposite of that. But a big question that a lot of people have been asking that I briefly mentioned earlier is, well, where are Ashley's family in all of this? Not her children, but, her mother, her father, her grandparents, maybe even some siblings. Well, as I said earlier, they're not exactly big fans of Ashley either. In fact, Ashley has gone onto multiple live streams to speak about her terrible relationship with her family, and it very much seems that the TikTok thing that she's been doing for the last year is absolutely taking a toll on her relationship with her family, in particular, her mother.
Oh, like what ruined it was whenever I flashed my nipple. And it's like, my dad forgave me. My dad's my best friend, but it's like my mom, she's like embarrassed. And so like when people are like, oh, is that your daughter? She's like, no, that's not my daughter. Like, it's a different type of abandonment that I never thought.
Now, the comments were quick to point out a glaring issue here. Didn't this literally just happen? She talks about it like this was years ago. And yes, this is absolutely true. The thing being described there is, yes, Ashley flashed somebody, Santos, on a live stream, and of course that led to a lot of controversy, mainly people saying your kids watch these streams, other kids watch these streams, and also the fact that this obviously breaks TikTok TOS, but somehow she still has an account for some bizarre reason. But it seems that Ashley's parents, in particular her mother, clicked onto this particular stream clip, and Ashley is claiming that she no longer wants to be the mother of Ashley anymore and has basically disowned Ashley. But to me, that doesn't really make much sense, as embarrassing as that clip is. I don't necessarily believe this is absolutely the reason that Ashley's mother no longer wants to be in the life of Ashley. I think it's more to do with the fact that Ashley has an insane history, which again, we went through in the first video. Some examples could be Ashley, after not being invited to the funeral of the father of her children, was on live stream dancing and singing, saying, F my baby daddy, he's dead. The rest of her family were invited to that funeral. She wasn't. I think that's a clear indicator that Ashley has caused so many problems and issues that her family just don't want to be a part of. And there are plenty of other things that you could get into, such as Ashley defending actual serious criminals in the past, mocking victims, and just making that her reputation.
They know that you're innocent, babe. I already said it out loud in front of everybody. There's 1.8K watching. He's innocent, you guys. I don't care what y'all say about him. He's innocent.
I can understand why Ashley's mother does not want to really be associated with her. This is clearly an unhinged individual who even before TikTok wasn't great, but now it's just gone too far. But the family issues don't end there, because it's very clear to me that it's not just the mother that has her issues with Ashley, but also pretty much the entire family have their issues.
I only talk to my dad and my family, you guys. He's the only person I talk to. What do you want for Christmas? Nothing, babe. I'm gonna buy me a new purse. I honestly might like just do me a little shopping thing here in a little bit.
It's always been that way for me though. Like I've never really, I used to always go to my uncle's house for Christmas. Well, he actually invited me. My uncle did. He came by like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, hey, don't forget Christmas Eve is at my house. And he was like,
you know, you can come, but my mom's family judges too much, you know, and I don't talk to my mom, so I was like, I'm not gonna go. Thank you.
I mean, Ashley, I wonder what they judge. I wonder if they judge everything that we've spoken about in these last 2 videos. The fact that I can make over 3 hours worth of content just discussing the things that you do on TikTok Live should represent to the fact that your lifestyle is absolutely a problem, and the fact that you have 20 CPS cases against you for the treatment of your children and the people's concern for the well-being of those children obviously is a big indicator to why you would be judged by your family. And she still tries to make it out like she's some victim in this scenario, when the reality is the only victims are the 2 kids. And you know, I feel like this is genuinely quite sad. Like when you look at this video, I feel like Ashley visibly does not look happy. It's almost like in the back of her mind, she knows she has ruined everything. And that is sad. Regardless of my criticisms, it's sad to see how social media can just rot someone's brain, but at the same time, taken to the context of some of the things from her past before social media, then the excuses kind of, you know, lift away a little bit, and you realize that, well, maybe this person just isn't exactly a good person. But with these videos coming out and more people speaking about Ashley and her family, she actually tried to come on the offensive and defend herself and validate the reasons for, I guess, the fact that she is supposedly, in her eyes, a good mother, when you and me know it's not the case.
kids don't have that. My kids will never have that again. My kids will never be able to call their dad, pick up the phone and call their dad and say, hey, dad, how are you?
I love that she's like playing the role of, oh, I really care about my kid's dad. It's like, aren't you the same person that went on a live stream and did this? Like, I'm sorry, but you can't do that on the day of the funeral of that individual and then go on another live stream and be like, oh, I'm just really sad that he's gone and oh, my kids will never have that. It's like, you can't do that. I just feel like you've kind of like taken away the card of sympathy at this point of time because of your actions in the past. I just really think it's weird that you're now doing this on a live stream. To me, it's again just another excuse, which, as you're going to see in the rest of this clip, there are plenty of.
My kids will never be able to see their dad again until we all reunite in heaven.
I did not put that there. I did not put that photo. That was just in the TikTok, all right? I didn't do it. Please subscribe.
So don't ever sit there and say my parenting is not the same as yours. My kids have everything they want and more. My kids can call me right now, Mom, can you buy me a new so-and-so? I'm gonna buy it because I'm blessed to be able to do that.
So you're blessed to be able to do that, but you can't spend the time to go out and figure out what bed you should buy your children. That's incredibly contradictory, to be honest with you. But also, the art of buying your children whatever they want isn't actually good parenting. I know that may sound controversial, but buying your kids everything isn't being a good parent. You know, there are plenty of kids out there that I imagine are in very rich lifestyles that are actually incredibly unhappy because the core foundations of their parents' parenting skills, there isn't any there. They've just assumed that, oh, I'll buy my kid a PS5, I'll buy them a car, and that will make up for everything. But no, at the end of the day, you can be in an incredibly poor situation but have the best parents in the world. And that doesn't reflect from buying your kids everything. It reflects from the care that your parents give to you as a child. And in this situation, that absolutely is not happening here. And the mistake that I see repeated time and time again by rich people is that they think, oh, buying my kids whatever they want is a form of good parenting. When no, we know what good parenting is. Good parenting isn't abandoning your kids on Thanksgiving so you can go out and party and get in fights on live streams. Good parenting isn't introducing your kids to violent criminals in prisons. Good parenting is actually being there for your kids and making sure that they're okay and not hiring managers when they're asking for your help. I could go on for so long about all of the examples that I have here, but just in general, I am sick and tired of seeing parents believe that buying their kids love is a form of good parenting. If anything, it's the complete opposite. Now, I'm not saying that buying your kids gifts is a bad thing. No, it's fundamentally not. But if it's your primary parenting style, then yes, I do think that's wrong, because it just instills a lot of negative things into your children and also just shows that you're not willing to actually put in any time and effort into your kids, and you'll just try and make shortcuts by buying them everything they want to distract them from the fact that you actually are a bad parent. But it only continues.
So yeah, you're right. My parenting isn't the same as yours. Not everybody's parenting is the same. My parenting is not going to be the same as my neighbor's parenting. My parenting is not going to be the same as y'all's parenting. But remember, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different ways of life. It's not easy, especially if you're learning how to be a mom all over again on your own. Having to pay the bills, having to support your kids, having to do this because you don't have no help. My parents don't help me with my kids. All they do is help me watch them.
Your parents don't help you with your kids. All they do is help you watch them. So they do help you with your kids. This is the thing, I've read so many comments out there claiming that Ashley's kids just go to her parents on the weekends when she goes out and parties, and that is a form of helping. That is just helping. You are in a very, very lucky position to have that support unit there from your family. And to me, it's no wonder that your parents don't like you, because you keep on dumping your kids on their doorstep every time you want to go out and drink with a 19-year-old TikToker. I would also love it if she went into more specifics to what she's actually talking about here in terms of different parenting styles of, oh, I'll be different parents to my neighbor and to you and all the viewers. It's like, what do you mean by that? I would really like to know what you mean by that. Because as we've seen from some clips before where she admits to doing horrible things, that is certainly a different parenting style to any other good parent out there. In fact, the only example Ashley has given in this clip for her good parenting is her buying her kids anything they want, but at the end of the day, as I said, for all the reasons that I went through, that's not good parenting. But also, we've seen clear evidence that she doesn't buy her kids everything that they want. They didn't even have a bed until the audience put pressure on Ashley to buy them a bed. In general, based on everything we've seen, I think it's very clear that Ashley certainly is not a good parent, and you can understand based on my previous video and also this one, why CPS would definitely be involved, and also why the general TikTok audience are extremely concerned. But insanely enough, it seems that the CPS weren't the only individuals out there investigating Ashley, because now Chris Hansen is apparently getting involved. Yes, that guy. Remember him? Yeah, Chris Hansen, known from the show To Catch a Predator, the show well known for, well, catching predators? Well, a lot of people out there are now under the firm belief that Ashley Trevino is now being investigated by that same Chris Hansen. And this all does stem from the fact that Chris Hansen uploaded a TikTok, and in the comment section, someone commented, "Can you catch Ashley Trevino?" And someone also commented, "Chris, look into Ashley Trevino and Santos," and as you can see, Chris Hansen acknowledged these comments by hearting them. And the belief a lot of people have is Chris Hansen needs to investigate Ashley due to her relationship with Santos. Now, personally, I don't think that that's a really valid thing that's going to necessarily lead to any form of investigation, and that may annoy you to hear, but at the end of the day, Ashley and Santos' relationship was technically legal in the guise of the US law in her state. But that doesn't mean I don't think that there can be any investigation, because no, we need to actually go back to, yet again, another clip that we played in my previous video of where Ashley admits to some things that, well, I think would put her on Chris Hansen's radar.
This is him when we first met, and this is him like when he first went in. He went in at 15. He doesn't see parole until 2032, and he's been in since 2010. He is 29 right now. He's 6 years younger than me, so he's 29. I knew him since
since he was 11. I knew him since he was 11 and I was like 15 or 16, maybe younger, because I was like 15. So he had to have been like 9 when I first met him. And they used to go to our church. So I remember telling his mom, because I always thought he was a cute little boy, you know, but I was older and I was already dating the kid's dad, so I couldn't be with him, you know. Once I got married, you know, I used to always tell his mom, because he grew up quick. So I would tell his mom, like, I'm gonna be your daughter-in-law one day. I'm gonna be your daughter-in-law one day. She's like, no, you're not. My Flaco's too young for you.
Now, to be honest with you, from these comments alone, I can understand why a lot of people out there want Chris Hansen to investigate Ashley Trevino, and I can understand why Chris Hansen hearted those comments, because these comments here are absolutely wild. The things that she admits on her streams are insane, but this really does take the biscuit. This is a case of her seemingly admitting to some borderline illegal things, in my opinion. What she says is genuinely predatory, and again, I don't understand how TikTok are just allowing this woman to exist on their platform. The things that she does and admits to are just insane, yet she just gets away with it and continues to make millions on TikTok every single week. Okay, maybe millions is a stretch, but at the end of the day, the fact that she has become infamous from TikTok is just wild. And you'd think that, given how easy it is to get banned on that app, surely they would have taken some, steps to preventing her from saying these things, but no, as we've seen, Ashley just continues to get worse and worse, and this is probably why Chris Hansen liked those comments. Now, personally, I don't really think Chris Hansen should get involved in this situation. I feel like this is something that the law should get themselves involved in my humble opinion. I saw the Onision case. I was not a fan of how that was handled, as was, a lot of people out there. And I feel like the police and the CPS are the right people to look into Ashley Trevino. And as we've seen, they absolutely are. Every single day, the police and CPS are being reported to about Ashley's ongoings on TikTok. And I really would not be surprised if we get an update sometime soon that some action has taken place. And with that, it leads us into the next chapter, where my beliefs are kind of really only reaffirmed by Ashley's recent trip to San Antonio. So my friends, congratulations, you've made it to the final, I think, chapter in this video, and we've been through a lot, haven't we? There have been so many scenarios, situations, and things that we've explored over the last 3 or 4 hours of Ashley Trevino related content, and Ashley's faced a lot of criticism. She's been at the center front of TikTok lolcalism, I guess that's what you can call it, and she pretty much now is seen as the main person to criticize on TikTok, and I think when you're being criticized, it can be stressful, and when it comes to stress, the best way to combat that is with a nice old holiday. I'm going on holiday this year. I'm going to Japan in April time, so I'm looking forward to that. It's definitely going to remove a lot of stress from my life, and Ashley, she's also doing the same. Because recently, Ashley went on holiday to San Antonio, a city in Texas. But this wasn't just... This wasn't a regular holiday. No. It's Ashley Trevino. And this holiday, it became an absolute mess. There are so many things in this situation that just went oh so wrong. And it all kind of led to this.
I'm gonna have to help them out. Again, me. No. Ashley, this is not on you because it's on me. I'm taking care of all those people around you. I'm getting in trouble for that.
So, yes. You may be wondering, why is Santos screaming at Ashley like this? Well, there are plenty of reasons, and I think we just need to get to the beginning of where this trip started. And it all begins with this image here. Ashley in San Antonio on a trip with a bunch of TikTokers. Because yes, this wasn't a regular family holiday. No. Once again, the kids are left behind, and Ashley is out making content with a bunch of TikTokers who visibly are very, very young. As you can see, these are all kids. And when you stare at this, it does very much seem that Ashley is like the mother to all these kids, or even the teacher looking after the kids. It doesn't seem that she's part of the friendship group. She's just that weird, creepy old person who kind of needs to go home. Now, again, some people may say, well, Fraser, that's not necessarily fair because, she can't help being 35 years old. Now, I want to give you an example of something that I experienced growing up, and I think a lot of you may have experienced it growing up. You remember when you're like 16, 17, or even 18, and you had that one friend who was like 27, or older than that even, and you used to think, wow, this guy's so cool, you know? He's buying us things that we can't get, because, you know, well, not with me, obviously, but, you know, that happens. People, you know, provide things to younger people when they're older, and they become friends with them, and you think they're so cool, but when you then get to their age, you think, that was weird. That guy is a fucking loser. You know, that guy is an absolute loser. And when you're 27 or even, God forbid, 35, no offense to any 35-year-olds watching this, it just kind of scares me. The idea of being 30, it's terrifying, and I'm getting there. So, you know, I can be bullied by my own audience for being 30 soon. But, you know, the idea of being 35 and hanging out with a bunch of TikTokers who are like 19 years old, that's a spot where I don't want to really be at. I'm a bit of a lone wolf when it comes to social media. I don't really collab with anyone other than my good podcast co-host, Obese to Beast, who is an absolute beast. But yeah, I'm just saying, being 35 and hanging out with 19-year-old TikTokers, it's not exactly an ideal position to be in. You don't have any affiliation with these individuals, you have nothing in common with them, and you have that immaturity gap between you and them. But it very much seems that the reason that Ashley went out to meet all these TikTokers was to, of course, generate content, which is only really exemplified in the clip that I'm about to play you, where some guy turns up to, like, fight Ashley and the other TikToker that she's with.
Shit, who's that dude? I don't know.
I'm sorry, but this visibly looks like a mum, like, looking after her kid. That kid there, that is a kid. That is a child. That's a, you know, I don't care if they see this and they're like, you can't call me that, man. You look young, and Ashley Trevino is 35. I'm not suggesting anything, like, illegal here, but I'm just saying, like, Ashley, do you not have other 30-year-olds to hang out with, you know? When I hang out with my friends, all of them pretty much are pretty much the same age as me. Yes, you can fluctuate for a few years here and there, but I'm not hanging out with like, 19-year-olds on the regular like this person is.
Yo. What's up? Yo.
No, what? What?
No, bro. Open up, bro.
What?
What are you doing, bro?
Nothing. We're just.
What are you doing, bro?
Nothing. We're just.
Bro, what the f*** y'all? You got two guys in the room?
We're just collabing.
You got two guys in the room. Put this camera up.
So I guess they're like trying to generate content here, but I'm like, oh wow, someone's turned up. It's a crazy fight, and oh my god, I can't believe it. You know, we all met up, and one of us is creating content with the other one, which seem to be fighting each other, which is really coincidental because we all just met up for a holiday. It's like, it's all really badly fake. You can see they're smiling and it's like so badly acted. And you know, you got to give people like Santos credit. At least Santos could actually put up a good act. These individuals from the very get-go, it's just terrible. Please at least go to an acting school or something. But yeah, it only continues from here.
Put this camera up. Put this camera up.
We're just collabing.
This your shit, man. This your shit, This your shit. What you wanna do? What you wanna do? Man,
stop, Marco.
Put this camera up.
Stop. Marco. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go.
Yo, what's going on? Bro, what the? Oh my gosh, y'all. Chill, bro. They better. Oh my. Bro, hell no. Hey, everybody on the highway now. Is they on the way to highway?
Yo, somebody send me help. Send me help. Chad, send me help. Send me help, y'all.
Are you online? Mute it.
I spoke about this in my previous video and briefly in this video, but who is this content actually for? Again, I will not understand ever who are the people that actually go to these live streams and consume this content. I get watching it in YouTube videos. I get, you know, going to the clip channels and commenting this is really stupid, but actually consuming this content and being a fan of it, I don't understand that, but apparently there are people out there that think this is amazing and I need to consume this every single day. I love TikTok brain rots. It's like, this is just sad. It is sad. It really is. Like, I remember wanting to be a YouTuber as a kid. It was like something I've always wanted to be, and I've finally achieved my dreams. And you know, I'm not saying that I'm breaking any boundaries here, making commentary videos. I make my videos, you know, I give my opinion. I'm not pretending to be this amazing guy who changes the world. I'm making videos on YouTube, man. But somehow this is making it even more embarrassing to be an influencer or a YouTuber or a TikToker. Like, it sets such a low bar, and you always hear like people say TikTokers or YouTubers or just content creators in general are all terrible, and I can't really not agree with that, you know? Given what I'm seeing here, you're just really staining the record of every other content creator out there, if you could even consider this content creation. But then it gets even weirder when basically Ashley is like refusing to stop kissing one of the TikToker's younger brothers, and sometimes I cover things and I'm just like, why do I even need to talk about this? But it all does contribute, I promise you.
Too close to my brother, Ash. Too close. Hey, Ash! Why did you move? Fuck you up, Ash. I'm not kidding. Ash! Stop moving. Ash! Stop moving. No!
Are you seeing that, chat?
Okay.
These people all look like teenage. They might not be, but from the comments, a lot of them apparently are like 19. And again, not a crime, but it's just like, oh man, like I feel like annoyed to have to even explain myself every time, but it's just like, why are you hanging out with these people? Please, just, I don't know, just go to a pub and meet someone your own age for once in your life. It's just incredibly uncomfortable to witness, but even then, it only continues to get worse in other clips.
Oh, that's Bree's brother. So Ash can't talk to him. He's my little bro. I don't like that. He's sleeping with me tonight. Look at him looking so cute on the screen. Look at him looking so cute on the screen over there.
Now, this clip in particular garnered a lot of attention, and a lot of criticism was directed towards Ashley, because a lot of people have basically claimed that this individual is 16 years old, and some people were stating that this basically needs to be sent to the police, this needs to be sent to CPS, and how just terrible this is, pretty much. Now, the age of this individual has been a heavily debated thing. As I said, some people have claimed he's 16, some people have claimed he's 21. I actually, in post, have been doing a lot of research to try and get to the bottom of what this guy's age actually is, because yeah, there are a lot of heinous claims being made against Ashley, and of course, if this guy was 16 years old, that would be an incredibly creepy thing. Well, I actually managed to find a stream clip of where Ashley and this individual got on live together, and they actually cleared up the age of this certain individual.
I went and told my friend that you were talking about me, and I was like, I didn't see that coming from you. That's why I asked you.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you got texted. I would never talk bad about you because you're the one that brought me up. I ain't even gonna cut. I thank you for giving me the opportunity, and like I thank you for like taking me and everything. Like I appreciate it, for. And what was I gonna tell you? Yeah, I woke up one day and they were like, oh, she's not talking to any of us, and I was like, oh, why? What happened? Like, and because they didn't tell me, they're like, no, she's just mad at us.
Hold on, so you're still in school?
No, I'm not. Bro, they took a video of me when I was in church.
I know that he says there that he obviously isn't in school, but isn't it insane that Ashley has gotten to the point of where she is engaging in flirtatious sort of connections with individuals who she doesn't really know if this guy's in school or not? To me, that is absolutely an indicator that you are hanging out with people who are definitely not in the age demographic of individuals that you should be hanging out with. If you don't know if they're in school or not, that's not a good sign.
Oh, I was like, because somebody said, yes, congrats on his graduation.
They took a video of me when I was in church, bro. They're mad crazy for that. But I let them because I didn't think they were going to post this. So I was like, it's all good. I mean, if you want to take a picture video, like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, yeah, let's do it, bro. But I mean, for them to post it, like, on church is crazy.
Hold on, so what's your real age?
18.
You're 18?
Yeah.
Cheers! I thought you were 20.
Nah, I'm 18.
Guys, I swear I didn't know his age.
Nah, I never asked me for my age,
I literally swear I didn't know his age. I promise.
That's not an excuse. Saying, oh, sorry guys, I didn't know their age is obviously not an excuse. And I'm sorry, again, I know that it's not a crime, but 35-year-olds hanging out with 18-year-olds where they're engaging in the things that we saw in those previous clips is obviously incredibly weird, and there are absolutely no excuses for it. And then after this, they go on to discuss about the ages of the other individuals there. And yeah, shockingly, all of these incredibly young looking people are all around the age of 18.
So how old is Ro?
Ro, we're all 18.
Cheers, I cannot stand you right now, bro.
But we was clapping at zombie side.
Guys, I swear I thought they were all 20. I didn't ask for IDs either.
Yeah, she didn't ask us for real.
I swear.
And then Metro started saying I was 71.
Literally, I did not know they were 18, you guys. No wonder they're calling y'all kindergartners and I'm taking y'all on field trips.
It's all good. I guess you took us on a food trip, though, again.
I was the teacher.
Hey, Chad, don't be the teacher in the chat.
Shut up.
I think this is probably one of the best examples I've seen to just summarize Ashley Trevino as a person. She spent an entire weekend on a vacation hanging out with a bunch of teenagers, quite literally teenagers. They are 18 years old, they are still teenagers, and she went out with these people drinking, partying, and she had absolutely no idea that half of these individuals had just left school. I think that's absolutely insane. And then you consider also the fact that she was incredibly flirtatious with these people. She was suggesting a lot of provocative things with these people. I think that this is incredibly creepy and there is no excuse for this behavior. Yes, everything that took place was technically legal, but I don't really think that that necessarily reflects the morality of this situation. It's incredibly weird, and once again, it's just Ashley Trevino being an incredibly creepy person, in my opinion. And I'm gonna keep on saying this phrase again and again and again, but yes, it only gets worse. Because Ashley had to jump off a live stream in the middle of it after a night out with a bunch of TikTokers, because pretty much someone on that TikTok live stream admitted that the underage TikTokers were drinking alcohol, and Ashley's face changes and she has to end the stream. And obviously people put two and two together that Ashley was providing these underage people alcohol. And this isn't a new allegation towards Ashley. This is something that she was accused of doing with Santos, and the police turned up. And naturally, with this new situation, it caused people to say that they're going to send this to the police or even CPS. And yeah, shockingly enough, the police saw this and decided, you know what, we've got to pay another visit, and this is what happened.
I was getting hurt, so yeah.
Is it all of where are you originally from?
Ennis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you have family here in San Antonio?
No, that's why I'm just with her, and we drove, and I haven't even slept.
It's basically a work trip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yes.
The fact that she has the guts to say that this is basically a work trip is genuinely hilarious. Especially considering the fact that, yeah, all these teenagers are just sat behind her being like, oh my god, we're gonna get arrested, things are gonna go terribly. And meanwhile on the live stream, whilst the police are at the door, the person streaming, I don't know who this individual is, but the person streaming is just like, please guys, follow for more.
Get me to 38K, 38K, and 38K.
I mean, it's just so weird. It really is. I mean, where we are at in society with TikTok creators at this point, I mean, the bar is so low to become a content creator. I feel like, honestly, if you have a phone, you can be a famous influencer at this point. Yeah, maybe it won't be producing amazing content, but, you know, you can get rich and famous now from doing whatever this is. Even if the police are involved, you can still do it. Which I guess is now the modern day American dream. Hell yeah, brother. But this wouldn't be the only time that the police got involved on Ashley's work trip, after Ashley and her group collective of teenage TikTokers decided that they wanted to go to a restaurant, and they were denied.
They refuse service? What the is that?
Don't listen to that. He's a
What the?
Clock out and come down here real quick. What happened? Pussy. Inferno? I got you, homie. I got you. Stupid ass, you got raided last night, dumb. It ain't even open.
They kicked us out. We got refused service.
Huh?
They kicked us out for refused service. They refused their service. They said they have the right.
Came to us and they're like, well,
all right, come on, we gotta walk.
Yes, I am also shocked that a big group of teenagers who are all streaming on TikTok Live were not allowed in a restaurant. But because of this, they then decided to try and go to another place, and seemingly that also did not go down too well, because yet again, the police actually turned up and arrests were made. As you can see here, it says that Ashley's bag was confiscated by the police when they turned up, and also a TikToker was arrested. And as you can see here, there is a clip of this said TikToker getting into a police van. So yeah, it's very clear that Ashley's work trip was not going down too well. And honestly, you really have to start to wonder, again, when are CPS going to see this sort of thing and think, you know what? We've got to step in, or even TikTok, maybe they've got to step in when these are the influencers on their platform. Surely there needs to be some level of regulation, man, because when you get into the actual reason this guy was arrested, it states that apparently the individual was carrying a weapon, and it also states below that this happened whilst having a meal with fellow TikTok star Ashley Trevino. I mean, to be fair, I'm not exactly surprised that Ashley is hanging out with people that are getting arrested. I mean, we've seen before that she has a taste for that sort of person. But yeah, who's really shocked? I mean, I'm sure the CPS agent monitoring everything that Ashley does is obviously not shocked at this point. And they also won't be shocked by the next developments of where another individual came out making the claims that, well, Ashley had certain illegal things in her bag, and this is what they had to say.
She saw GTA in cuffs with the cops and everything, and the cops were holding Ash's bag, and I saw them pull out a pew out of Ash's bag.
Oh.
So I agree with everyone that's saying that she was trying to, cover up for them because you know how Ash is, but that's what I saw. And then also for everyone who's confused about who got arrested, I saw that they put D-Kane in that truck van or the police van, as well as Bree's brother, I believe, and then D-Kane's girl or something like that because she had powder and a pew as well. But that's basically what happened for everyone who's confused.
Now, I should just say again that these are just right now allegations, but based on the headline that we looked at previously, I am kind of inclined to believe what they are saying here. But yet somehow the situation only got worse after this, because once again, Ashley, like she loves to do on her work trips, got involved in yet another fight.
Oh Lord. Oh my god. I'm staying here, guys. I'm not getting involved.
Now, as hilarious as these clips are, you have to then consider the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, Ashley's kids are moderators on her live streams, and they will see this. They will see their mother consistently embarrassing herself in every single live stream she's involved in, and that genuinely is so depressing. Imagine being these kids and having to go to school and be known as the kid that's mom is Ashley Trevino. I know that sounds mental, but you know that that's going to lead to some very unfortunate instances happening at school, but Ashley doesn't care. As long as she can go on her work trips and just have fun and drink and party, she does not care about the repercussions of her actions. And because of all of this behavior being documented throughout TikTok, a lot of people out there decided to get in contact with the Airbnb owners of the Airbnb that Ashley and all of these TikTokers were staying at, and it actually led to Ashley being kicked out of this Airbnb.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12? 12 of us. I have my family of 12. Guys, do y'all have anywhere in SA? Because we're getting kicked out of the Airbnb.
So yes, it pretty much does just seem that this entire trip to San Antonio from the very get-go had been a complete disaster. She had been criticized for hanging out with teenage TikTokers. She had staged events on her TikTok live streams. She had been kicked out of restaurants. Some people had been arrested by the police. She had a bag taken away from her. The police turned up to her place. She'd been kicked out of her Airbnb. Just in general, this whole thing was a complete nightmare, and so many people out there were talking about this, documenting this, and of course, this led to Ashley finally responding to the criticism, and how she responded was to, to blame everyone else for what happened in San Antonio.
Guys, y'all literally won't even let us have a decent collab,
Dude, I haven't had one stress-free day in 4 days.
It's so crazy, we can't sleep, nothing, y'all literally hate me that much, but we're not even bothering y'all. And y'all literally are not letting us just collab with each other.
The power on the top right, and then...
And now because of y'all, yes, y'all,
3 of our guys are not here.
They're gonna say, y'all take accountability.
Yeah, but it's not our fault. We were walking around.
Now, firstly, I want to just say, if you're causing public disturbance, then obviously you're going to be reported, and obviously the police are going to turn up, and obviously a restaurant will not want you in there. And obviously, I don't know if it sounds controversial, but if I was a restaurant owner, and I have like 12 teenagers and this 35-year-old woman all streaming on their phones onto TikTok Live, where they're all screaming and shouting, yeah, I wouldn't let them in my restaurant either. Why would I want that in there? Why would I want to disturb the peace of my loyal customers who are, dining on my nice spaghetti bolognese, I wouldn't want that. So no, I'm not surprised they weren't allowed into these places. And no, I'm not surprised that certain individuals were arrested. When you consider some of the headlines that have gone out there about why these people were arrested, and when you look at the sheer public disturbance that all of these individuals were causing, we've seen the clips, we've seen the fighting. It was obvious that these people were going to get arrested, and it was no one else's fault other than the individuals that turned up. Ashley and everyone else, it was their fault, but mainly Ashley, I think, should take some responsibility in this situation. She again was the adult that was not leading by example. She again did nothing when people were, I guess, misbehaving or doing bad things, when she could have taken some level of responsibility. She's acknowledged that she is far older than everyone there, so maybe just do the least of just, I don't know, making sure everyone is behaving and not doing illegal things. But no, she obviously didn't do that, because in every single case, as we've seen throughout these 2 videos, Ashley does not want to take any personal responsibility, whether it's in the moment or in the future. Ashley never will take responsibility, and that's why she's blaming me, that's why she's blaming you. But at the end of the day, we know that everything in this situation was her fault. But after this, she went on to make even further defenses of herself, stating that she didn't realize that half the people that came to the event were even going to come in the first place. But to be honest with you, I don't think this is a valid defense, but I'm just going to allow her to speak.
I didn't know half of the people that were live were live. And like I said, y'all are telling me hang out with people my own age. I didn't know half of these people were coming. I literally did not know half of these people were coming. And I was already hours away from home. I had, and so, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, okay. What am I meant to do about this? You stayed with these people. You can't tell us that, oh, I was hundreds of miles away. We've seen all of the times you've bragged about spending money on ridiculous things. If I accidentally somehow ended up hanging out with a bunch of 18-year-olds for the weekend, I would get a flight out of there. We know you could afford a flight, but no, you stayed for the nights out. You stayed for the content, and you stayed and committed to the creepy behavior that we've all seen in this video. These excuses aren't going to work when you've repeated them so many times, and in every occasion you've been exposed for lying. And what's hilarious is that even the mother of the guy who got arrested's girlfriend, I know it's quite a lot to stay there, but they came out and spoke about this situation, and of course the first thing they did was criticize Ashley for hanging out with teenagers, because any grown adult knows this is weird.
Also, what is a 30-year-old doing hanging around with teens? And even if they're in their early 20s, that's just not, you're not supposed to conduct yourself in that manner when you're in your late 30s or whatever, however old she is.
I think she's completely valid in what she says here. A 35-year-old has no business hanging out with a 19-year-old unless, I don't know, they play for the same sports team, or I don't know, they're related or something like that. But in this case, there's no excuses for the stuff that Ashley did on this trip to San Antonio. Some of it is just outright creepy, and just in general, this should not have happened. And that all leads to the clip that I played at the beginning of this chapter, of where Santos, of all people, comes into the equation, where he is very, very angry at Ashley.
Do you think that I'm just saying that for no reason, Ashley? You know those kids don't even, no, I'm Ashley, I'm talking to you serious. You know those kids don't even have parents that are gonna help them out? I'm gonna have to help them out. Again, me! Me. No. Ashley, this is not on you because it's on me.
I mean, honestly, as much as he may have a point, it is incredibly hilarious that this is basically like a soap opera at this point. This is like EastEnders, but with American TikTok. Like, honestly, yeah, Santos might have some valid reasons to be mad at Ashley here, but honestly, it is just hilarious to me. This is not real. It just can't be. The whole thing is just a big show. Now, if you really want to know why he's mad, pretty much it's because of the whole thing that happened in San Antonio and all the people that got arrested. He's basically blaming Ashley for this, seemingly, and pretty much he's being like, I've got to make sure that these kids are all right. And it's like, mate, you yourself are also 19 years old. Like, you're only a year older than them. But I guess I can appreciate the serious nature that he's taking with this situation. And that does kind of bring us to the ending of the San Antonio saga, where pretty much Ashley kind of reflected all of the things that we've criticized her for in one saga. It's kind of incredible that she managed to do that. She left her kids, she went out and hung out with a bunch of kids, she, did a lot of bad things, and just in general, it's made even more people out there not like Ashley Trevino. And honestly, I think that's an achievement in itself, because when I was making my video, I was kind of under the impression that, yeah, most people on TikTok, if not all the people on TikTok, don't like her, but to still find another massive audience of people that can, also not like her is applaudable of how good you are at making people not like you. But in general, the whole thing is really sad. It's sad because her kids are obviously going to see all of this, and they're going to know that their family are pretty much going to be known for everything that Ashley does. It's no wonder that Ashley's mother does not want to speak to her anymore. It's no wonder that she's basically not invited to Christmas anymore, because some of the things that we've gone through here are just depressing, sad, and outright wrong. And with that, I want to finally get into the conclusion. Actually, no, I'm doing a bonus chapter. So yes, welcome to the unexpected bonus chapter, where we're in a complete new setting, because yes, we are in the editing suite, but in this case, we are not editing. This is a professional part of this video, I promise, because what I want to explore here is the fact that Ashley's life seems to be crashing down at pretty much every single opportunity. This woman will say something, it'll be clipped up, and it'll be mocked and laughed at. Someone will make a YouTube video on it, don't know who would do that. And just in general, things are looking worse and worse for Ashley as the days go by. Now, an interesting thing that I was pondering was what would actually happen to Ashley if, say, TikTok got banned, or her account individually got banned, or people just stopped caring. Some would say, well, she would be fine because she's earning tens of thousands of dollars a month, and, yeah, I can understand why some would have that perspective, but I don't really think that's the case. I think having tens of thousands come in every month is great, but that money isn't going to last forever. You have bills to pay. We've seen her wild life of spending. We know that she likes to go to Disneyland constantly. We know that she likes to go pretty much everywhere she possibly can without any of her children. So I doubt this woman has that many savings to the point of where she can afford to go jobless for the rest of her life. So then let's explore the idea of, well, maybe Ashley could just go and get a regular 9-to-5. She must have had one beforehand. And yes, this is true. Ashley did have a job before social media. In fact, recently Ashley went on and confirmed that she was actually working a 9-to-5 until December 2024. Now, what's interesting though is Ashley seemingly didn't willingly quit this job. No, in fact, Ashley apparently was fired.
Guys, I don't care what anybody says, this is a stressful job. I had a 9-to-5 up until December. Thank you to the patient who took a picture of me at my job, and to the trolls. Y'all got me fired.
So yes, it seems that Ashley was fired because of some trolls that took a photo of her and I guess posted that on the internet. Now, to me personally, when I hear this, I just see this as another case of Ashley Trevino refusing to take any responsibility, which, as we've seen throughout this video and the previous video, that happens in pretty much any situation, whether it's the San Antonio saga, or whether it's her children, or just in general anything. Ashley is just at every single aspect, even when it comes to her own individual 9-to-5, is just not willing willing to take any responsibility, no matter what the situation is. I don't think that you were fired because individuals out there took a photo of you. Yes, it's not cool to take photos of people without their consent, but I don't necessarily think that's the main reason she was fired. In fact, I think the main reason she was probably fired is, well, everything that we've spoken about today. Everything that I spoke about in my video previously. Everything that everyone else on TikTok right now is currently talking about, whether it's the predatory actions, whether it's hanging out with 19 or 18-year-olds in San Antonio, whether it's abandoning your kids to go and get in fights in Texas. To me, all of these reasons are probably why your employers let you go, because they couldn't have somebody with that reputation on their books. Now, maybe Ashley will disagree with that, but personally, if I was running a business, if you were running a business, would you hire Ashley Trevino? Please go to the comment section and just comment yes or no. It's a simple answer, and I think most of us will have the same answer. No, I would not hire this individual for a multitude of reasons. And some of those reasons are, yes, what we've just gone through, but also some of the reasons are what she says in the further parts of this video. Just take a listen to this.
Okay, I put that out there. I was at that office for 6.5 years. I worked every day, Monday through Thursday. Then they changed the owners, and I knew it was going to happen. Then we got Indian owners. Yes, I said that.
I don't know how to interpret what she's saying here. So, well, the fact that she says there, I said it, does necessarily usually indicate some level of like, oh, I'm not meant to be saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because why would she say, there, I said it? If it was just, oh, they, I don't know, some Indian people came in. Regardless, I don't really think there's a need to necessarily state that they're Indian. But then again, on the internet right now, there's this like disgusting bandwagon of hate against Indian people. And honestly, I think I am just going to interpret it as some negative connotation based on her own wording. She can't just come out here and say, oh, you're throwing accusations at me. But no, you're clearly stating something here by claiming that, oh, yeah, there, I said it. To me, if I was to say, yeah, there, I said it, that's usually me trying to be like, yeah, I said the thing that you didn't want to hear, you know? When you say that sort of thing in any scenario, it's, yes, I'm implying that I've just said something that wouldn't really be taken as a good thing to say in regards to the public eye. And yeah, things really only continue to go downhill from here.
And I didn't get along with the regional manager. As soon as they took over, I was already in his office the first day. I was mad at my doctor for selling, okay? I cried almost every day that I was at that job because I did not like it. It's a blessing in disguise that I got fired. I'm happy I got fired.
So you were crying every single day, you were arguing with individuals there, and you also had recently built a reputation on TikTok for just being Ashley Trevino. Honestly, are you shocked that you got fired, especially with some of the comments that you've made in this video? To me personally, I'm absolutely not shocked, and all this video really says to me, I don't think Ashley Trevino can just go out and get a brand new 9-to-5 if TikTok gets banned or her account individually gets banned. I think with the record that she's given herself online, it's going to be incredibly difficult for her to find any real job, in my opinion. And look, I know this woman has kids and they haven't been taken away from her yet, at least. Maybe in the future when you're watching this, that may be outdated. But, you know, in the context that she has children, I do hope that she actually does manage to get a job and, you know, continues a lifestyle that she can provide to her kids, which is ironic considering everything we've gone through today that shows that this woman does not necessarily provide for her kids in a sustainable, fulfilling way that a child deserves to have. But regardless, I would not want to wish someone losing their income, especially when they have kids. But what I'm saying here is, Ashley, surely you need to look at your reputation on the internet and realize this is not sustainable, and this will also prevent me from getting a job in the future when I eventually lose my career. Because the interesting thing is TikTok might not get banned. Yes, there's this 3-month thing which is coming up and people think that it may be banned there, but even if it doesn't get banned there's going to be the conversation that comes up in the future, regardless of TikTok's going to get banned in 2028. Regardless of all of that, at the end end of the day, basically every TikToker becomes irrelevant. You're known for just being a chaotic entity. You're not necessarily known for being someone like, I don't know, Markiplier, who's known for his great videos of where he's in a specific niche of content, or other content creators out there, even like myself, that fit into like a niche of we talk about things. There's always something happening. There's always a video game happening, you know, that a video game YouTuber can play. But Ashley Trevino, it's just chaos every single day, and eventually people will get bored of that. And that's happened to pretty much every other lolcow out there. Even with people like Onision, for example. 5 years ago, there was so much more interest with Onision, but nowadays it's just, oh, well, it's Onision being Onision. No one really cares unless it's a significant update. And I think that's going to happen with Ashley Trevino. Regardless of if she gets banned or, you know, TikTok gets banned, I think either way, the income that she's receiving from TikTok Live is eventually just going to get less and less and less. And she's going to get to this unfortunate position where her life has crumbled around her, her reputation creeps back up to her, and it doesn't allow her to get a job, and it will be an incredibly unfortunate position to be in. But sadly, this is all self-inflicted, and I think, Ashley, if you're watching this, you need to realize that your behavior will have negative consequences on you, and more importantly, your family in the future. Yet she seems to just not really care about that whatsoever. And it's clear to me this woman does not have really a backup plan, especially when you look at the 12 hours where TikTok was banned. By the way, are we not like all the most overdramatic individuals on the planet? I swear, like when TikTok was getting banned, there was like a doomsday counter for it, and then when it got banned, it was like, you know, when Thanos snaps the Infinity Stones, being a British person on TikTok, that's kind of how it felt when all the Americans disappeared. It was like walking around being like, what the hell happened here? But yeah, regardless of the dramatics of all of us and the theatrics, she actually tried to start up, I guess, boosting other accounts that she had created on other platforms. As you can see here, she was promoting an account on a platform called Favorited. Now, I've never heard of this platform in my life, and I don't think I'm ever gonna hear of it again outside of this YouTube video. And she was also promoting an account on Twitch, and, you know, Ashley Trevino becoming a Twitch streamer would probably be an incredibly interesting development. Would you participate in watching a live stream where Ashley Trevino and Hassan Piker have a debate, or she streams a video game with XQC or Speed? Yeah, I know influencers, I'm cool. But no, I honestly, none of these things seem to really be working for her. As you can see here, she's got, well, literally like 0 followers pretty much. And what I'm trying to say here is, I feel like it's a clear indication that when TikTok went, she was like, oh no, I've got nothing left and I need to start building from the ground up. That is a very difficult thing to do, and it just further indicates to me that with Ashley's life, you know, crashing around her, right now it's great because there's a lot of interest and that brings in money. But when the interest goes and it is just a crumbled life, what then? Because it's very clear to me that TikTok is pretty much this main person's form of income. And don't get me wrong, a lot of YouTubers are like that. You know, I myself make a lot of money from this platform. But I feel like when it comes to what a lot of YouTubers are speaking about and doing on this platform, as I said, there's like a specific niche that you can fit into which brings longevity. Ashley really has no longevity. But what I found even more interesting is Ashley does seem to kind of realize that things are crumbling around her, but rather than like bowing out gracefully, no, instead she's actually coming after the people that speak about her or even repost clips of her. In particular, Ash Updates 2, the biggest clips channel surrounding Ashley Trevino. As I said, I guess in this video and the last one, basically this channel is known for re-uploading clips of Ashley, and they popularize a lot of things that are known about Ashley. And honestly, I do feel like a lot of these accounts are inadvertently why Ashley is so popular. That's not necessarily a critique of these accounts, but not everyone is going to sit in every single Ashley Trevino live stream. And, you know, if you do sit in an Ashley Trevino live stream and you're there for the whole thing, I am quite worried for your mental sanity. But these accounts very much do help people like me and probably people like you to see the latest updates of Ashley without having to sit through all of the live streams that she does. But Ashley is not happy about these accounts. Ashley has recently gone to war with them. She's claiming that she's basically hired insiders to find out who these individuals are. It's going like full-on CSI, and I'm like, do you not have better things to do with your life? But do you also not realize that these accounts benefit you? But also, you have 2 kids. maybe just like go and spend some time with them rather than doing this.
I have somebody working to see who the troll accounts are. Those are my next ones. I already have their addresses, their legal name.
Yes, nothing says innocent quite like gathering somebody's docs and using that as a way to threaten them over your TikTok livestream. Because don't get it wrong, this is effectively what she is doing here. She is stating, I found where you are, I know who you are, and I'm going to use this against you. This is a threat. She's trying to scare people from reposting her clips so, you know, the bad moments don't go viral, and she's trying to make people afraid that if they engage in any negative activity towards Ashley Trevino, they will face the consequences. Which, you know, isn't that such an American thing? In the country of free speech, the best way to go about that free speech is to, well, threaten people into silence. Yes, there's nothing quite like America. But it does seem that Ashley is actually really dedicated into finding out who are the people running the accounts that are reposting the clips about her. What I find more interesting is Ashley seems more pressed about these accounts than like YouTube channels like myself. She has never really spoken about YouTubers. It's always just about the accounts that basically just repost everything. And I'm like, are we not cool enough? Do we not get the views? I understand views on YouTube seem a lot less than views on TikTok. Now, mainly that does come down to the fact that, yes, on YouTube, you know, to get a view, you have to actually click on a video, whereas TikTok, it's just scrolling and suddenly you get a view. But I feel like us YouTubers are kind of get left out to dry here. Because, yeah, Ashley in even more clips goes on to pretty much announce that she is really going ahead with this operation to find out who these clips channels are. And again, it's just like, you have 2 young children. Maybe just go spend some time with them.
I know it's Ash Updates who goes and messages everybody who gifts me. Ash Updates is one of the troll accounts that literally hates me because she wishes she was me. I know everything about her. I know her Addie. I know her everything. I know everything about her. She don't think I do, but I got it. Anyways, yeah. Oh, I know everything about her, you guys. Her calm, her little butt down. Her little 25-year-old butt down.
I love in literally every clip that Ashley responds to criticism. It's basically what a 5-year-old would say. Oh, you're just mad because you want to be me. It's like, Ashley, you sound like an actual child right now. And that is quite ironic given the demographic of people that you hang out with. But, you know, it is just quite embarrassing to hear this. And again, she's also going on with the whole thing of, oh, I basically know everything about you. Which again is just her inadvertently threatening people into silence. Which I swear needs to, or at least should go against some form of TOS when it comes to TikTok. Again, I am really not sure how this woman has evaded a permanent ban for so long. Ashley has been known for getting temporary bans here and there when she does something a little bit wild on live stream, but she's never received a permanent ban. And when she's going around threatening people like this, and then you add in everything else from today's video, you kind of have to wonder, how do so many people just manage to get permanently banned on that app? But Ashley Trevino is just, she's perfectly fine in every single scenario, regardless of if she's even threatening people. And Ashley even ended up going into somebody's Discord server and basically, ironically enough, was telling someone to get a job. And I'm like, Ashley, I think that's incredibly ironic and probably is going to be advice you're going to have to give to yourself in like a year's time.
Y'all are so obsessed. It's so sad. What y'all need to do is get a full-time job. I think McDonald's is hiring, or Disney, because y'all are goofy. Okay? This is Ash, by the way. And don't worry, y'all will see me back on TikTok shortly. So yes, get out of Hefa's Discord because y'all are nothing but trash. Anyways, have the worst day of your life, you guys.
Truly an absolutely lovely individual. And yeah, again, I think it is quite ironic that she's telling people to get a job at McDonald's, because honestly, in a year's time or even 6 months time, I don't think McDonald's will be willing to hire this individual. But my friends, the threats don't end there, because on another live stream, Ashley basically let the world know that she was actually going to hire a lawyer to sue the TikTokers that speak about her. Once again, not the YouTubers. I guess we're old-fashioned and boring, but the TikTokers.
Okay, what's the update? I haven't got served. If anything, I'm gonna get you served for keeping my name in your mouth. Actually, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna call a lawyer. Yep, we're coming. I'm gonna call a lawyer on about 5 people on TikTok.
I feel like the main criticism I have here is, Ashley, why do you feel the need to like eat in every single stream? I don't know what it is about influencers when they're on camera and eating, but something about it just makes me feel a little bit sick. But the other glaring issue is, of course, yes, she's threatening to sue people here. 5 individual TikTokers seemingly. I'm not sure who these specific people are. I imagine they are some individuals in the Ashley Trevino cinematic universe. I don't necessarily claim to be a part of that, but it seems that someone out there, 5 people in particular, have upset her to the point of where she is going to go to a lawyer and basically ask them to sue the people that are speaking negatively about Ashley. Now, I don't really get what their legal case would be. Maybe it would go as far as defamation, but realistically, based on all the things that we've gone through in regards to Ashley Trevino, this woman herself could have a massive defamation case against her. We've seen that this woman throws out allegations like it's the most carefree thing possible, and that sort of thing can get you a defamation lawsuit. Like, if you say someone did something terrible and there's no proof of that, you will get sued, especially in the influencer, celebrity, whatever you want to call it space. You will get sued if you act like that, and Ashley Trevino definitely has acted like that over time, so I do think it's incredibly ironic that she's now being like, oh yeah, I'm going to sue everybody. But again, also, what a way to show your innocence. Rather than just disproving people, or rather than just showing that you've changed for the better, it's, no, I'm not going to change, I'm going to get a lawyer, and I'm going to silence everyone. Because that's the American way. Freedom of speech, baby. But it does kind of feel, as more of these threats come out, Ashley is actually getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And the final clip that I want to really show you in this chapter is it's a clip of where Ashley basically like gives us the best rendition that she has of being the Hulk, where it's more of a case of,
you won't like me when I'm angry. When I'm angry, I'm scary.
Because you're messing with innocent people. You're messing with innocent people, and you're waking up the devil.
Ashley. I don't know what it is, but it's, you know that image where it's like he's trying to make that MF look vicious. That's kind of what this is. Like, to see this threat is, I guess it's a threat. It is rather hilarious, you know. But yeah, it doesn't end there, because Ashley goes on to talk about the, I guess, the devil inside her that's gonna wake up and bring havoc amongst the Ashley Trevino cinematic universe.
And you're waking up the devil inside of me. I can be a nice person, but don't make me mad, because I guarantee you I will be the one that you hate the most.
I feel like this is a line that Bruce Banner's gonna say in a future Avengers. Like, this is, actually, it is a bit cringy. Like, I again, bringing up the age thing here, not because I have a negative opinion on 35-year-olds other than this one, but at 35, surely there's got to be like some maturity thing going on here. Like, I feel like at 27, if you caught me saying this, I'd cringe out, you know. I don't even think any of us were saying this sort of thing at 21 or even 18. And actually, that's sort of the age of people I know you hang out with. But I don't think I'd be saying that personally. But yeah, it is definitely cringy. And sadly, it doesn't end there.
Why do you think none of my exes talk to me? Ask my exes, they can't stand me. I don't talk to none of my exes no more. Because why? I could be evil. I try not to be, but...
Again, this is just one of those times where Ashley feels the need to reaffirm everything that we believe about her. She says here that, oh yeah, I can be evil, none of my exes like me. And it's like, well... That's not a good thing to admit to, Ashley Trevino. That's not a good thing to say. Your ex is not liking you. I mean, that's a pretty normal thing, but the way she describes it here, I mean, I mean, it's something you clearly claim to be evil to them, so I can get, you know, why they wouldn't like you. And also, I should just say, not talking to your exes, that's also like a perfectly normal thing. I think most people go through that sort of transition. But with Ashley, it almost seems like she's implying that some horrific things went on there. You don't like it when I'm angry. I'm going to become the devil. I can be evil. It's like, you're meant to be convincing us that you're a good person, but in every single opportunity, you tell us, oh no, guys, I actually suck. Like, I'm as bad as you think I am. If anything, I'm worse. If anything, I am actually worse. And it's like, Ashley, why do you feel the need to tell me this? Like, I didn't ask for this information, but in every case, it's like, no, have some more. You know, I'm feeding myself and I'm going to feed you with even more negative information about myself. And I'm just like, Ashley, I'm sweating out. The lights are on me right now and you're making me sweat even more because I'm scared. I'm scared what you are going to do to me and everyone else watching this video. Overall, yeah, it is incredibly cringy, but it also weirdly is a bit of a self-report. Like, what has she done in the past that makes even herself admit, yeah, I can be evil? I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff that represents that, but it almost feels like there's a lot of deep and dark secrets that we don't know about, and we're probably going to find out about in the inevitable part 3 that I do in this series, which hopefully isn't next week, and at least is in a few months' time. I can't just keep on making Ashley Trevino videos. I say that, but I fully expect to be here next week. But yeah, this whole thing, it's been a complete mess, especially in this chapter in particular. It just kind of feels like this is her crash out, and I know the phrase crash out is used quite a lot, but I think it perfectly exemplifies everything going on here in regards to the San Antonio situation, everything before that with Santos and her kids and all of that stuff with her family. It just feels like things are building up and building up and building up, and they're eventually just going to erupt into a big explosion where Ashley gets banned off social media, she can't get a job anymore, and even maybe CPS come into things. And just in general, it feels like this woman is just trying to deliberately self-sabotage her life at every single opportunity. And there is a part of me that came into the story with a bit more empathy, especially with my co-host Obese the Beast. When we spoke about this on my podcast, we spoke about the fact that there has to be some like deep underlying issues from Ashley's childhood, which is the reason to why she's acting like she does now. And I still do believe that, but I can't use that as an excuse anymore. This is all terrible, and it does just feel like it's going to get to a penultimate, is that the word? A conclusion where things are just awful for Ashley Trevino. And with that, I think it's time to finally get into the conclusion to this video. So yes, the conclusion to the story of Ashley Trevino. Where do we go from here? Well, I mean, I'm going to stay around, you're going to stay around, and I imagine as long as Ashley Trevino is on TikTok, we're probably going to continue to document her, because I feel like, as I said previously, things are just going to get worse and worse and worse until the grand finale and conclusion to this story happens. But overall, where does this leave us with Ashley Trevino? Where does she go from here? Well, to me personally, I feel like she's just going to keep on getting crazier and crazier, as I said, and I think eventually it will lead to her either being banned or falling out of relevance. And I think that then leads into the problems that we went through in the previous chapter of Ashley won't be able to get a job. Ashley will struggle, and that will put a lot of strain on her family, and that's not fair on any of them. And again, Ashley, if you're watching this, realize that things might be great for you now, but in a year's time or even 6 months' time, that might not be the same case. Things could be a lot worse. And I'm not saying that because I hope that happens. I hope Ashley does become a better mum and a better parent overall. But I can't see that based on the fact that she refuses to take responsibility in every single opportunity and only gets worse by threatening people into silence and getting lawyers out. To me personally, there's no indication of change, and it's just more of an indication that she's only going to get worse. And I should just say, Ashley, think about these things. Right now it works, but in a year's time, it will not be a good place. But another topic I wanted to kind of conclude is also the topic of Chris Hansen, and I want to ask the question of, do I think Chris Hansen really needs to be involved in this situation? Now, yes, there are some real things that have happened in the story of Ashley Trevino where the argument of somebody like Chris Hansen coming into this situation could be a good thing, but overall, based on a lot of things that have happened in the past, I feel like this is a serious thing that needs to be left for the authorities. You know, Chris Hansen could make videos about this and talk about this, I would understand that, but making it into like a big show or something like that, like on a streaming service, I just don't think that would be the best route to go down. I feel like this is a serious thing that should be left to the authorities. Everyone has the right to speak about this sort of thing, but turning it into like a television show, I feel like that might just be what Ashley Trevino wants. Yes, you could say with my videos, maybe that's the same thing, but I think overall, when it comes to like streaming services and shows, is that kind of like opens the world up to like Ashley Trevino. Right now, regardless if this is a massive thing on social media, Ashley Trevino is still like a very niche thing. If you ask your coworkers what do they think about Ashley Trevino, they'd probably just give you a dirty look and go back to their work. I feel like right now she still is niche, but if she went on to like a show, an investigation docu-series about her, that would just make her a viral celebrity, and that is not what we want. But now moving away from that and going into the question surrounding do I think CPS will get involved? This is obviously a touchy subject. I understand that, and I don't take these things lightly. I wouldn't just usually see someone who is considered a bad man and think, oh yeah, they need to get involved and stuff like that. But in this case, there does seem to be genuine evidence and reasoning to why they need to at least get involved in terms of investigations and making sure that the kids are getting proper parenting. So yeah, I think that needs to happen. Whether it does happen is a different question. As someone that's covered these cases a lot on YouTube, I have seen this happen quite a lot. I've seen people be like, oh, there's no way they're going to get involved. And the influencer will be like, oh, they're not involved. I'm the perfect parent. And then a week later, they are involved and bad things happen. So Ashley, take note of that again if you're watching, which I really do doubt it. But take note that, yeah, 1 minute things can seem fine, but the next, it's the end of the world. Overall, I would just say, I hope Ashley becomes a better parent. I hope she learns from the situation. But sadly, there really is no indication of that. And I guess the question we can end this video with is, why does this keep on happening? Why is it that every single week there is a new TikTok mom, dad, parent, whatever you want to call them, that is being regarded as the new worst parent on TikTok? Well, to me personally, it's this thing here. In regards to being a YouTuber like myself, it's much more difficult, I think, to actually be one. I'm not saying it's an amazingly hard job, but you've got to own a camera, a computer, editing software. And yes, you know, you can record things and upload it onto YouTube on your phone, but really the algorithm doesn't really work like that. It doesn't promote that. Whereas TikTok very much does promote the idea of just whacking out your camera, recording yourself, and going viral for very, very minimal reasons. And I think sadly, because of that, it's given the opportunity to everyone for getting famous and popular. And look, I'm not saying this as like an ego thing. I don't think I'm famous or anything like that. And, you know, I think everyone has the right to make content, but I think with some people out there, there's a real case to be made that they shouldn't be going viral. They shouldn't be the topic of conversation every single day. And Ashley Trevino, I think, is one of those individuals who 10 years ago you wouldn't have known who they are, but because they can pick up their camera and document their insane lifestyle of where there's a load of crazy things going on, and then they can build on that and making it even more deliberately crazy. This has just created this new almost cycle of content, which really isn't going to end. And some will say, what about if TikTok gets banned? Do you really think it's going to change? There will just be a new app that gets invented. I used to think that TikTok needs to be banned to prevent these things, and I've joked about it throughout this video. But my honest thoughts are, if TikTok gets banned, there's just going to be a new app that does the same thing. Instagram Reels will be there. YouTube Shorts will be there. Apparently Vine might be coming back. It doesn't matter if TikTok's banned, because this now short form of content is the more popular style of content on the internet. We're addicted to it. We're constantly consuming it. And regardless of if it's Ashley Trevino or somebody else, these types of things will sadly continue to happen as long as the internet is here. There really is no way to prevent it other than talking about it and making sure people realize the truth behind what's going on and having honest to God conversations about it. I'm not saying that we're like the police or doing amazing things, but I think just having a chat and a conversation is the most important thing. So in conclusion to this story, I feel like this is only going to continue and get worse. And I really do hope that Ashley Trevino sees this or sees someone else's video and decides to change her ways, because overall, I feel like it's going to have a pretty nasty conclusion. But yes, that is finally the end of the video, and hopefully the ending of this story. Thank you so much for coming along. I would love to know your thoughts down below. I feel like this is a bit of a weird setting to be in. I didn't expect to be here for this long in this chapter, but I've clearly got a lot of thoughts to go through. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below, but more importantly, secondly, most importantly, like this video and subscribe, please. Also, I have a podcast where, as I said, I spoke about this on Over the Pond, the podcast. That will be in the description. Please go check that out. But yes, thank you so much for coming along. Thank you so much to the sponsor of this video, and thank you for being here again, I guess. All right, I'm going to leave now. Bye-bye, everybody. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.